Clobberin' time! Hot mouse.
No bloody A, V.
Whoop! What the hell happened?
Clobberonimo!
That happened, I guess. Hey! Welcome, everybody, to Clobberin' Times. This is your number 555 on YouTube. 1,255 overall. Clobby's Clubhouse number 77 with a... Well, we indeed.
Clobberonimo!
That, too. We never get enough.
Clobberonimo!
But hello, my friends. Good to see you here. Wow, I'm about, looks like, if I recall correctly, about a week away from 14 years of doing this.
Wow, congrats.
My 14th Clobberin' Times, Clobberin' Times / Clobberin' Times anniversary. Oh, hey there.
You got a gift.
Jason Sandberg, my friend. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to hang out with Jason on Nick's Friday night show last week. He's got a great comic and everything in there. If I can get the information on you, Jason, you might want to, if I can find it or find your info for your comic and everything, I'd like to promote it. So if we can get that from you later, or maybe one of the mods can figure out where it is. I'll try to figure it out, and I will definitely get in there. We'll get it posted in the chat there, sir. And I'll get it in my description later. But Jason Sandberg, it's an honor to see you. I'll be having him on soon to hang out to talk about this extraordinary comic. So good to see you. So this crowdfunded extraordinary comic. All right, what's going on? So, hey, welcome, my friends, to Clobby's Clubhouse. Thursday nights.
Hey on that one. Like, you're not allowed to just do one hey.
Hey.
No, do your Fat Albert. It's the best.
Oh, that one. It's bad, Clobby. Welcome, of course, to the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Commander R.M. Briggs. What's up?
Good evening, Captain. It is so good to be here. Nothing much is up. I'm just here to hang out with two of my favorite guys in the whole universe. Hail to the chat. Good evening, everyone. And I just want to wave hello to all of my my book supporters. They're on Patreon. They're amazing people, and I love them, and I'm so grateful for them. Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, also known as Gil Bevel, Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba Pete and Leslie Pete, Eric K and Little Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, kidding,
Yay.
Jill and Maximum Limericks. And other than that, Hail to Mark D with the C officially as another panel person. Hail to the captain. Let's get it on.
Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Chris Persian, for that. By the way, that's Jason Sandberg's YouTube channel. I presume from there one can find his info on his comic. I think so, Jason. Is that correct? Anyway, also welcome to the great chief engineer himself, Mark D with a C. What's up, dude?
Glad to be here. So everyone that hung out at the UFO watch party, we're going to review that episode tonight. It was
What's
a good
UFO?
UFO.
Hey, they said UFO several times in this episode. Sorry.
Yeah.
We just did.
Yeah. It depends on if there's an alien spaceship coming. It's a UFO. That's how I always notice it. But
that's the British way to say it.
Actually going to be called that with an O and an E.
I don't know about all that now.
We'll
true.
argue.
Did you know that? The show was originally going to be called UFO, and they were going to use the word "faux" in the name.
Fair enough. Well, good. There you go.
I thought the UFOs were the guys that fought the Hulk.
No, don't get. That is a group called the UFOs. Don't encourage her.
I'm gonna take you down.
Encourage her. Okay, let's do some show notes before we do our shout outs for the clubhouse. Because the clubhouse is just about hanging out with our friends. Anyway, it's what the kids call a chill stream, but chill stream with wonderful friends. We started doing this for the longest time. We were just doing this in private, just hanging out, spending hours and hours, the three of us just talking and stuff. We said, hey, let's do this before with our, live with our friends and see how that goes. That was been 77 episodes ago now. So, first show notes. Let's see here. Tomorrow night, I should be hanging out with the great Nick Weiser on with his comic shop gang. And Nick and the Comic Shop Boys, 8:30 Central Standard Time, and I will be reviewing Jim Starlin's classic Adam Warlock run. We're going to do it. It's going to take a couple of weeks. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, it looks great. We'll show a little of it later.
Yeah, can we see
We'll give a little preview of that later.
Yeah,
we will.
Thanks, boss.
We will. Yes, it's classic. It's one of the greats, Jim Starlin.
Yep.
And let's see here. By the way, what else? Oh, of course. Then the Saturday Night Star Trek, of course.
Dun, 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 dun.
In our ongoing mission to review all of real Star Trek, 66 through 05, the 735 Club, 4 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. What a great crowd we've been having over there, and just thank you all who've been participating. A big shout out to the great J-Man, by the way. He joined me this past Monday night. We had a great time on Earth B reviewing our monthly visits to Earth B, the wacky world of Zany Bob Haney, and it was a lot of fun reviewing that Brave and the Bold 134, and I want to thank him for that. And now this Monday night he returns the favor. He will be hosting me on his great channel. I'm not, J-Man, put the time. I'm not sure what time it is going to be.
Great.
We're going to start reviewing the Legion of Superheroes from the beginning.
Hey, do we have the URL for his YouTube and
I'll put it in there.
And can we also get the URL for his book front, the storefront for his books? Because Jason is a horror author. He sells books. He's smart and funny and a really wonderful person. And his wife is an award-winning poet. So if we could get that up there, Clobby, this is going to be such a great show. I'm so excited for both of you. You guys are so good together.
J-Man and we have a lot of fun reviewing comics. Reviewing comics is just too much fun. You sit there and show the damn thing and talk about it. Simplicity itself, but great stuff. I've been a lifelong Legion of Superheroes fan, as you all know, for a very long time. And J-Man has just started getting into Legion. He's heard me talk about it, and I didn't try to talk him into it or anything. He decided to start, and he started from the beginning. He's been collecting a lot of it and reading what he could digitally. And this, of course, is the first appearance in 1958 of my beloved Legion of Superheroes. And we'll J-Man and I will be reviewing that first appearance. And so I am looking forward to that. And of course, don't forget Sunday Night Geekery on Mark D's channel.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody who is out messing around on a 10 p.m. Eastern on a Sunday night, winding your week down, about to get ready for your next, and you want to geek out with some extreme geekness, well, there you go. Now let's do our shout outs, folks, because we like to shout out everyone here We shout out our wrenches, and then we even shout out our friends in the chat. So a big shout out to whether they're here or not, they get the shout out. The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher,
And Kirby. Don't forget to drop some cheese in the chat
Yeah.
for Curbs.
the doggy. I don't have those pictures anymore, unfortunately. The Vindicator Wrench of the North, the great Chris Persia. Thanks for
My
all you
baby.
do, buddy.
Thank you for the beautiful show poster, for
Yeah.
supporting this channel, for supporting Mark's channel, for supporting everybody's work. You're really out there putting all of the indie people out there, all these creators out there. We love you for this, Chris. Like,
Thank you,
you
buddy.
do such beautiful work and you're so thoughtful. It is such a great honor. Love you, baby. Mwah, mwah.
The great Wrench of Iron himself, D. Bud Martin. Now we have D. Bud and I have a show planned. He's finally going to come on after all this time. Let me see if we have I got to check our schedule. Let's see. He said, thinking, April 26th is a Wild Cards Wednesday, the birthday of George Tuska. April 26th. I'm going to get that all scheduled soon. So that's because I'd forgotten about that, but now I'm getting it set up. But now, well, I haven't forgotten because I just mentioned it, didn't I? I forgot that I hadn't forgotten. Anyway, D. Bud Martin and I will finally get together for an Iron Man comic review. We'll be reviewing Iron Man number 6, the original from the Silver Age. So where's that one? I almost forgot I'd scheduled that one, D. Bud, but I'm hanging. My memory's bad, but I'm hanging. We also have the great Lord Thoth, probably not here at the moment, but the great Lord Thoth, the god of wrenches, and of course the lovely Lady Thoth. Avon
Mr.
lives.
Lancethoth, the pepperoni.
Well, that doesn't come before me saying Avon lives and long live the Legion. Never do that again. Or you will be, well, if you ever do that again, first of all, I'm going to call you nasty names like,
Get those nerds! Nerds! What?
Yeah, and then I'm going to ask for your
agonizer, please.
I'm running.
The great aforementioned, the master of Earth B, my partner in crime on Earth B, J-Man, the wrench without fear.
J-Man.
You can't blame me for that one. Blame it all on her.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Hungry boy, master of the CLOBBERIN, artist extraordinaire and cover artist to the wonderful science fiction tales by R.M. Briggs.
You know, I'm so grateful to this human being and this incredible painting that he painted to be the cover of my book. You know, as I'm making all the promotional materials for the upcoming book launch, spreading them around the city and getting them ready for the big event at the Jubilee Auditorium, I'm still continually in awe of that gorgeous painting. And it's just so special. And I'm just so grateful for it. Thank you. Genius. HB.
HB. And of course, Kal-El, Super Wrench Supreme.
The real soup.
Vindicator. I said Vindicator, Wrench of the North. I'm all over the place now. Maddie's daddy, wielder of wrench Mjolnir, Thor from Vegas. And of course, the great Fanty Outsidey, that rascally wrench. And let's see who is with us in the chat now. Let's go to say our hellos, our greetings to all of our wonderful friends who are here with us tonight. Okay. Captain Infinity and beyond. Timicus Maximus is here. John Rupus Ruggy is here.
Ruggy?
Dave G. Sound. What's
Not
up,
just
Dave
another
G?
body of water.
No, he is all the water. Jay Picasso was never called a. Hey, good to see you. Claude Saling. Hey there. Pat S. Pat S. Buddy, what's up, man?
Evening, Pat.
Good to see you, bro.
Pat.
Michael Beacom. Hello there, buddy. And shout out to the lovely Cassandra.
Cutest couple ever. Love them.
Let's see here. Again, shout out to my new friend Jason Sandberg. Jason,
Hello,
thank you again.
hello.
Thank you again for the super sticker, and thanks for being here. It's great to see you. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Shalom, shalom. Welcome, sir. Let's see. Simply Steve 68. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you, sweetheart?
Hey, Pop Culture Republic. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, Pop Culture Republic is here. My
Yeah.
old friend, nice to see you.
Yes, indeedishness. Hang on. There should be more. I'm sure. Hang on.
Did
hang
you know
on.
that?
Six.
Do you
Gotta
know
scroll
that he
them.
lost his puppy?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
he lost
sorry.
his puppy.
Oh.
So if you're feeling like sending out a little bit of love and a little bit of a hug, Pop Culture Republic could definitely use a hug.
So sorry about that, sir. Classic Comics. Hey, CC.
CC?
What's up, Dave?
Dave!
I'm not there yet.
Sorry.
What'd you do? Don't break
I do it every
protocols.
time he walks through
Don't
the
break
room.
protocol.
Don't break protocols.
Sorry.
There's shout out protocols. Donnie Pearson.
Good evening, Donnie.
I'm very cross with you, Donnie Pearson. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're here, buddy. I hope you're doing well, man. He knows I'm teasing him. Donnie's our buddy. We love Donnie. Good to see you there, buddy. I hope you're Mighty Morphin. Let's see here. Almost. Sorry, everyone. That's a vamping noise because I'm trying to get to someone else I haven't shouted out yet. Scrolling down, you understand. I'm sure. Dave C.
I like that Dave was impressed with what I did. It just responded with laughing out loud.
Dave C. What's up? Don't encourage her, Dave C.
No, it's wonderful. Whenever he walks in the room anywhere on YouTube, I'm like, Dave!
Wow, man, my ear will never be the same.
Sorry.
The worst part is these headphones I'm wearing are so old. Only one half of them work.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, too cheap to go get any other ones. Well, hey everybody, we're all settled in and ready to rock it, Chimsy. All right, we've got a wonderful clubhouse plan for you tonight. Well, that's not entirely. It was not so much of a plan; it's sort of like a guideline. Not really a plan, So
We never plan anything here.
no, we do have.
Well,
right.
Raquel plans, I should
We
say.
do have regular
not you and
segments,
me.
though.
Yeah.
We do have regular sex. Again, I feel bad that we don't have Tripwire anymore because I know how much Hungry Boy loved that one.
We could do it again for him.
What do you think, Hungry Boy? Should we revisit Tripwire? Ducks? No, I don't think. I don't think he would like that somehow. But we do
that
have.
I hear? Crickets.
So, but we do have, of course, as the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, Raquel, has been reviewing the DJ Ronnie G.
DJ Ronnie G.
Hey, has been she has been reviewing stuff for a while back. Of course, she was reviewing some extraordinary science fiction movies that she's watched, and of late, she has been reviewing a classic, an old science fiction TV series called Tales of Tomorrow. It's just called Tales of Tomorrow, I guess. And how many episodes we have left to this one? I mean, seasons, right? A couple seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. We do, yeah.
Yep.
All righty-ishness. Well, I guess we'll just why don't we get down to beeswax and let you give us a review of how many episodes have you watched this week?
I just did 2 this week, boss.
Okay. We'll go for it.
Take
it away. Number 1.
I ran out of episodes to watch. I don't know. I don't know if I watched them all.
6!
It's 6.
Listening 2X.
I have to be careful when people walk through the room and I yell because everybody requested that I put my microphone on the same level as you and Mark.
No, it's fine.
I think it's too loud.
No, I was teasing about it being loud. It's not loud.
Oh,
6.
Okay.
6, good to see you, dear.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, Eric. What's up, buddy?
Eric, hi, honey. We called you out earlier, honey. What's this?
Buddy. What happened?
Arm Breaks, not sure if I mentioned it, but I got your book and can't wait to start reading. Did read the acknowledgments about Hunger Boy for UFO to never suffer a reboot. Oh, yeah, yay. I'm so happy, Dave. That makes me so happy. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know if you enjoy it. It truly matters to me.
Indeed. Oh, absolutely.
And thank you for your support. It's incredible. Thank you so much. Yeah, folks. So we're at the part of the show where I'm doing this segment of this classic science fiction, and one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because everything on TV today sucks. It's absolute. It's not good. It's not enjoyable. you just sit there and you get admonished and you just watch all of this awful CGI. There are no stories and everything's rebooted. It's like chewing the cud of the cud of the cud of the cud of a cow from very far away. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand it. So yeah, I've been reviewing all this old science fiction. And part of it too is that I'm trying to catch up with the geeks, right? I have all these friends that are these geeks and they're these great collectors and they know about all this merch and all these toys and all these films. And I'm just a lowly nerd. You know, what's a nerd good for? Pretty much nothing
Nerds.
other than academics.
We love nerds.
So I'm trying to catch up with my buddies here. And something that I found that was kind of like a bridge between those two worlds, geekdom and nerddom, is this Tales from Tomorrow, or Tales of Tomorrow, I mean. Now, this came out in the 1950s, and it is extraordinary because it features all of these wonderful short stories that are turned into teleplays, and then we get to enjoy them. And they're only about 20 to 25 minutes long. But I think that they help to highlight a massive chunk of our culture that has been ripped away. And that is these wonderful science fiction stories, short stories that were developed in the science fiction community. There are even people like Arthur C. Clarke and others involved with Tales of Tomorrow. And you know, that's how we used to come up with all these beautiful celluloid stories is from these marvelous science fiction short stories that folks used to write. And you know, we just don't, there is no market for it anymore. It's gone. People aren't buying magazines anymore. People aren't sitting down in front of the newspaper, you know, the tactile newspaper, and reading it anymore. So I also kind of wanted to do this because I wanted to bring you back to those beautiful sessions that you used to have when you were in the bathtub, or you were at the lunch table, or you were at your desk just having a coffee, or it's Sunday morning and you're at the dining room table. All of these, you know, at the park, all of these quiet moments where you could sit down in one sitting and read a story. And you know, we're certainly not getting it in TV anymore, are we? Remember when we used to have episodic science fiction on TV, and now everything is serialized corporate crap, and you know, you have to watch it for 5 years to figure out what's going on, and even then it doesn't make sense. So here we are at Tales of Tomorrow, and this week something weird happened. I could not access the second season on Tubi Canada, where I've been watching it. Now, many of you know Tales of Tomorrow was recently dumped into the public domain, so you can watch it anywhere. So I actually had to go this week, make an entire list of every single episode, and now I have to start checking them off because I can't watch them in order anymore. So if things are a bit off, that's what's happening, folks.
Hey, shout out to Mr. Angel. Hey, Chef. Hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Good.
I was gonna say I only watched number 18, The Horn. I was trying to do my homework, and then I should have asked you. I thought that was gonna be the last episode. So you found other episodes that are available and watched them.
I did. I had to do research on this one.
Oh,
okay. Well, then we should let everyone know what the episodes are, so ahead of time, so they can watch them if they want.
Yeah, well, we can definitely do that. Before we were kind of okay because we were saying, okay, you know, follow
in order
to
a week, yeah.
But apparently, you know, actually, you know, what's really funny is Mark actually warned about this in the beginning. Mark was like, okay, well, there are a lot more episodes than they're letting on here, and they're numbered differently. And then, you know, I was looking into it, and yes, they're numbered differently in the US and Canada. So it's quite a thing. So yeah, we're going to have to definitely start letting you know what we'll be watching as we get to it. But yes, Mark is right. The first episode of this evening
always right. I'm just kidding.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez. Shin kicks.
Head desk. Only when it comes to engineering. Well, no, you're right about other things too. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I actually like you. You're my friend. You just can't let you get an inflated ego. So shin kicks. No.
Shin kicks, yes.
Okay, so The Horn is season 1, episode 18 on Canadian Tubi. but on American IMDb, which is a cesspool, it is season 2, episode 8. So we're seeing quite a jumble here. You know, there are a whole bunch of reasons why. I do apologize, and you know, we're going to unpack. We're going to tackle it. I promise. This was first broadcast on October 10th, 1952. And because IMDb has had some really crazy, like insanely bad summaries, I just took some notes to let you know what the episode is about. So, a musical instrument manufacturer employs a man developing an experimental musical instrument, a horn. He promises that its frequencies will change and heal the world. And in that, he's speaking about conflict and strife and so on and so forth. It's a horn that conveys emotion. It's sensitized to alter emotions through ultrasonic vibrations to the nervous system. Now, there is science behind this, and so it's quite lovely that that's what this topic is. He turns the instrument over to scientists and doctors to benefit the whole of mankind. So what's really nice is that the instrument turns out to be so effective and it works so well that a very humble man, this wonderful scientist, he decides this guy who's been developing this instrument, he decides that he wants to turn it over to scientists and doctors, and it's just a really super beautiful moment. However, dun dun dun, there is a company rival, and he's not a good guy. His company rival tries to sabotage him at every turn. His rival beats him unconscious and steals the instrument for nefarious purposes. The instrument conveys, but cannot control emotion. And so I'm not going to reveal the ending. This is an outstanding episode. I was very impressed by it. It does have a writer, which is Alan Nelson, but it doesn't say who wrote the teleplay on this one. So this is a nice way to convey the science of sound. And the science of sound is actually a very, very complicated science. It's very involved. I had to study it, of course, when not only when I got into communications, but technology and radio, when I took radio broadcasting. And so this was something that I thought was really super cool. Anybody who has had to study radio broadcasting, sound, communications, tech, any of that stuff, you're really going to grab a hold of this and go, oh, 1952. This is just excellent. So I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I, as always with these things, I really wish they were longer, because I think that if this particular episode were a little bit longer, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. And mostly because the guy who develops the instrument is very hopeful. He is a very kind and sweet person, even when he's attacked and somebody is sabotaging him, even when he can make boatloads of money. He chooses to be virtuous, altruistic. He's a very, very special person. And also the fact that this is based on science. And it helps attract people to these ideas of, brown noise and white noise and red noise and all of these things that people seldom talk about. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. It does deserve a 9 out of 10, but it would definitely need about 90 minutes in order to achieve that. And so that's all I'm going to say about the horn. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mark, who also watched this episode. Mark, tell me, what did you think?
Yeah, very, very interesting. I'm glad I got to watch this one. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of kludgy, but I think that's related to, in some areas, related to the length. Like you said, these are all kind of short, not a fault of the episode. And of course, they don't have a ton of special effects money to, do like a fancy dancing musical instrument. I think it ends up being a French horn, but that's fine because, you use your imagination and just pretend it's doing what it's doing. So there's a good, without spoilers, obviously, there's a nice twist at the end. I would actually call this invention the Counselor Troy horn, or the Counselor Camel Toe horn, maybe, because of what it does in terms of emotion. But yeah, maybe that's where they got the idea. But no, it's an interesting, interesting concept. I mean, it's a little hokey in terms of, the musical instrument, but it's got a scientific basis, because we all get affected by emotions, right? When you watch a movie, and what gives you the emotion? It's a soundtrack, what you're listening to, right? So this is an interesting concept.
Well, it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Deeper than it, yeah.
Yeah, this actually gets into the scientific study of how frequencies affect human beings, like our perception of rain, and how noise works, like how the rumble of thunder works, and how there is a rhythm to a certain type of rain, and how that can actually take away like stress, and can help you fall asleep, and things like that. So this is
those
actually
clocks
getting into,
that have the sound effects.
Yeah, so this is getting into this area of study that we keep on going after, wondering why human beings have this interconnected relationship with frequencies, even with bass. Bass is perceived through your bones. You're not hearing it, you're perceiving it. So I love that it gets into this, and it sort of asks the person to go and explore frequency, and to learn about sound, and especially sound that you don't quite think you can hear, and how it affects the human body. And so very, very cool. Really like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of altruistic. The inventor's very, very altruistic, and of course the evil businessman wants to take it for himself and make money off of it. And it's basically an instrument that can, without getting into too much, can control people and affect their emotions. So it's interesting. It could have actually been a different device they happen to use, for in terms of the plot, but they happen to use a musical instrument. And it's it's worth watching. It rolls right along really quickly. It's only like 20 minutes, so they're easy to watch. And that's what I always miss about an anthology series. Within a few minutes you understand who the characters are, and what they're doing, and you don't have to have 8 hours of build up to finally get to the meat of the episode. Not referencing anything else that I just watched, but yeah, that's what I love about anthology shows. It's just they get right to it. And you think that, how do I know these characters? How am I gonna get to know them? Of course, when you watch a show where you have characters over and over and over, you get to really love and like some of those people. But look at Twilight Zone, which is obviously, I'm sure Rod Serling watched this. Not that it's a copy, but it's that's that same great anthology format where you get a new cast and crew each week, and they make you think. So this episode does make you think, and there's a really nice twist at the end, which I really, really like. So good stuff.
Yeah, Dave G Sound and a couple of others are talking about the effects of music. Yes. And I would like to make one little small tweak to what Mark said. He said, the bad businessman wants to make money. I definitely didn't see that character in that particular light. I see him as a full villain. So at one point we even catch him in a lie, and he tries to get the one musician, the guy who's developing the invention, the guy who makes all of these beautiful violins. He tries to get him fired based on a lie. So he's actually a full-fledged villain. So if you watch this, it's not like, you have this altruistic guy who's developing these beautiful instruments, and then you have this corporate guy who's trying to sell them. That's not the tension here. The tension is not that. It's something completely different.
Well, he's got evil. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, he's got evil intent all around. But part of it is so he could get wealthy too, and just use this to Yeah, use it for not so altruistic means. Yeah, so
Yeah,
but,
he's it's
he's
this
like a
is
Dr. Doom character, I guess.
and it is quite nice because when you think about artists and artisanship, and you think about what it would be like to develop an instrument like a Stradivarius, and to be a luthier, and to have these skills, and then to be able to say, okay, well, I want to take it to the next level. I want this to become therapeutic. I've developed this set of frequencies that is having a profound effect on the physical nature of human beings, and is affecting their emotions and things like that. I think that's incredibly interesting, but it needs like 90 minutes. It needs 90 minutes. Yeah. Okay, and the next one, folks. Clobby, did you do your homework?
I didn't.
Yeah, I knew you didn't. So let's keep moving on. Pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, so the next one, and I will be publishing the list. I folks, I am a nerd. I'm not a geek, so I didn't really put it into digital format. I write things out in pencil and paper, so I might have to take a photograph of the list and put it on my Twitter.
We could put it in the Discord, and we could put it in the Discord too. Yep, for the club.
Yeah. So the first one to tie all of this up and to finish off season 1. I mean, there are lots more to come, but this is one of them. So now we're getting into the weird list. Is Blunder. Blunder was written by Philip Wiley. So this is a full-fledged short story, which is incredible.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes.
That's a big name in pulps.
Yeah. So Philip Wiley fully wrote this story. This belongs to him. And then a wonderful Irishman named Charles O'Neill wrote the teleplay. So he took his gorgeous short story and turned it into a teleplay. And this was first broadcast on August 10th, 1951. And like I said, IMDb, it has very bizarre summaries. Some of them are quasi-lunatic. Anyway, here we go.
Quasi-lunatic, that's a new word. I'm stealing that.
Yeah, anyway, so quasi-lunacy, I meant to say. Anyways, it's also because I'm reading at the same time. So I wrote some notes, and here they are. A scientist is researching splitting the bismuth atom in the high Arctic to find an unlimited energy supply for Scandinavia. So immediately I thought, okay, Philip Wiley wrote this. I need to go and check this out. And sure enough, the bismuth atom is real. So we're talking about like nuclear. Anyway, this is totally cool. You need to go look it up. This is what science fiction is for. There's no possible way that you could have a grasp of all of these different scientific concepts. That's not the way university works. Each person zeroes in on their specialty and they learn about it. And what science fiction enables us to do is stretch what we know. And so this is definitely stretching what we know. I encourage you to go look up the bismuth atom. 2 scientists examine his research. So he sends his research from the high Arctic to quote unquote civilization. It is discovered that it is flawed. There is a miscalculation in his formula. And his bismuth research will destroy the Earth for sure. It will interact with oxygen and it will destroy the Earth. They try to warn him as he and his wife sit in the Arctic waiting to start. He ignores all attempts at contact. So he's up there. He's just decided he doesn't want to talk to anyone. He's very cantankerous. He's obstinate. He won't pick up his phone. The president is contacted, the president of the United States, the scientists, governments, from all over the world attempt to contact him. They even have it announced on public radio. And to have it announced on public radio in 1951 is a very, very serious thing. If you don't understand what I mean by that, please definitely look that up. They fly, and then they send a team to the high Arctic to stop him. And now I'm not going to say any more about this particular episode. I don't want to spoil it, but really, really great story. Really, really strong story. This could have been a 2-hour movie, and I would have sat for every second of it. Extremely interesting. I also really like the fact that when they talked about how they were going to start this reaction, they talked about like basically like having like almost like these like you think of like brake plates, and they get melted, like they disintegrate, and then yeah. Anyways, it's some super cool science here. I definitely was scrounging around, looking up bismuth atoms and the science behind this. Now, what's really cool is there is a science presenter for this particular episode. What's also really cool is if you watch it on archive.org, you get to see the CARE advertisements for Europe. Europe trying to rebound from all of the homelessness and everything that was going on with the war, and they're taking on all of these donations. You get to watch commercials. However, there is a scientific presenter for this episode, and he says some pretty damning things about us mucking around with nuclear things, atomic things, and just, it's quite marvelous. So highly enjoyable, super scary, and excellent to watch. I give it an 8 out of 10. This actually would have been like a 10 out of 10 if it would have been like a full movie. And Simply Steve says, like brake pads. Yeah. Sometimes I get stream brain and I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of. Simply Steve. What are brake pads made out of again? Asbestos?
Well, they originally were asbestos.
Yeah. So the way that they describe it, it's basically like, yeah, it's almost as if it would be like something that would separate the formula and then it would melt into it. And so for me, I've never studied nuclear fission. I don't know anything about that. And so for me, what I thought was really cool is explaining that there was a chamber beneath them in the Arctic that was cooling these particular ingredients, and that one part would be like the brake part that would stop for lack of a better word, like intermix. Anyway, I'm not a nuclear physicist.
Was that why it's partly set in the Arctic, without having watched it, for the cooling properties, I guess, like you're saying?
Well, I just implied that from what I know of the way that nuclear technology is handled, but it's all there. Like you can see it, like it's heavily implied. But yeah. It's 22 minutes, I think this one is. It's not much time. It's breakneck speed, but it's so good.
Philip Wiley, by the way, it's notable that he wrote the novel called Gladiator in 29 or 30, which some, of course, it dealt with a being giving, enhancing a being, giving a man, giving him super strength. Some claim Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster based Superman off of him. This never been completely confirmed, but still, Gladiator was a pretty influential book at the time about someone with superpowers far before comic books were doing it, and a little bit before comics were doing it, and so there you go. Just
interesting.
When you heard that name, like, wow.
Yeah, anyway, I'm sorry that I am so hopeless at explaining this off the top of my head. I just did some research so I could understand what was going on and what was going down with this bismuth atom, and how things would shape up, and the way that the reason why it was done in the Arctic, and how it was being done and stuff like that. But like I said, like I have a master's degree in communications and technology, so I'm really good at communications. I'm really good at technology. And I have a refereed SOI for a doctorate of social science. So anthropology, psychology.
Where are the nuclear vessels?
Yeah, exactly. I've never studied any type of nuclear energy or any of these systems. I can say though that I love science fiction, and that this definitely tickles all the right parts of the brain that make you want to go and research it and learn about it. And I've always used science fiction like that, where you can just go and get a little taste and go, that was so cool. But by no means are you an expert. Nowadays, people use Google to tickle their brain and they think they're an expert. I am not an expert in the H-bomb, in atomic energy, in any of that stuff. I love you, Six. So, yeah.
Six.
So, and that's about it for this one. Like you said, it's an 8 out of 10. But I will tell you folks that this would have been a 10 out of 10 for me if this would have been a movie. And you know, you're seeing a lot of things being written online about the fact that, you know, science fiction fans have always wanted their stories in celluloid. They really enjoy television and film. Wouldn't it be great if somebody went back and took some of these stories and made some actually, like, you know, original films? It's just unbelievably cool. And I wish we had somebody here who specialized in atomic energy and could explain what transpired there. But the reason why I mentioned it, even though I did it so clumsily and made myself look like a nincompoop,
it's all good.
is that
Don't be ridiculous.
when you consider the scientific ends of experimentation, you see this sprawling lab, and you see the different means to an end, the different apparatuses that are required to create these different experiments. And what's really neat about this one is it takes you back to that time where somebody would write a proof. And I hope many of you are, I know D. Bud Martin is aware what a proof is, like a math proof, where you're just trying to prove that these calculations or this formula works out to this or whatever. And so it very much felt like that. But I was taken aback at what I would consider the scientific accuracy of having all of that SHIT buried underneath you. And once that plate melted and you had that chemical reaction, and I won't tell you what happened, but very cool, very cool, very cool.
Well, the name of the episode is called Blunder, so I'm guessing something goes wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So that's it. And
well, I gotta watch this. Yeah, it's on archive.org. So I guess, yeah, if you have a list of all the episodes, we should
I'm gonna get them down tonight. But like I said, I don't really like typing things out. That's not who I am.
Well, there's a list. I found a list of all the episodes online on Wikipedia. You could just cut and paste them. Whatever's faster for you. You know me, I'm all my gadgets and devices and computers.
Well, can you let's do something. Let's cross-reference the list you're using and the list I'm using. And if they line up, well, you know, it's just cut, copy, and paste for you, sir.
Yep. And it's actually the second episode in the series. This was season 1, episode 2, Blunder, August 10th, 1951 was the first original air date. So 1951, all the way back. Wow. So, I mean, think of it. The nuclear age is only, 4 years old, 5 years old at that point, or when was the atomic bomb drop? So new technology and
very new and very scary because they weren't certain about just how the fallout was going to work, right?
Oh yeah, when they set the first atomic bomb off, they weren't sure if they're gonna, blow up the whole world. I mean, the same thing with CERN. I remember everyone with the super collider, everyone was, half joking, but like, what's gonna happen with the, super collider? You don't, science, the nature of science is test, experiment to see if your theories are proved. But when you're dealing with those forces, it's, all known technology that, took that whole Manhattan Project years to develop. So let's see, when was the first, well, of course they did tests first, but so yeah, the atomic age started in the 40s, so not that much older. So
yeah, and people were still rebounding from World War II, and so when you're watching them on that archive.org, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm just looking at the comments, and the boss got a gift from Michael Beacom, And
Nice.
also just people just talking about different things. You know, chef, even the idea of fission freaks me out, because you're so when you have atomic energy, when you're making atomic energy, anyway, I'm not gonna get into it, but I will say this, that there is a marvelous show. It's actually my favorite movie of, like, basically it's like my favorite movie of all time, all time, all time. It's called Mind Walk. And when I was watching this episode, all I was thinking of was Mind Walk, because you're thinking of this teeny tiny world, and this whole idea of fission. Like fission is breaking something apart, and yet you're mixing things together. And so it's just really crazy. And then to know it was buried under them in the Arctic, just super, super, super cool. And people who study atomic energy, they're just the coolest people. And I don't mean like Homer Simpson. I mean like actual people. Anyway, Boss Man, you have a gift from the
know.
Beacons. Sorry,
Well,
boss.
No problem. I was waiting. I wait. I'm patient. Are you ready? You there?
We're ready.
Redry!
That's what we were waiting for. The Redry.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Michael Beacom. You were too kind, buddy. Appreciate that. He says, cool trivia. The DVD of Tales is from the Wade Williams collection. Got to meet him. Super cool dude. He exceeded my home entertainment fantasies by building his own theater next to his house. Wow. Very
Nice.
cool. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate that. You're very generous of you, sir. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Snail
That's my
Messiah's
kind
here,
of guy.
boss.
Snail, what is up, buddy? Good to see you. Long time no see, Kimasabi. All righty.
You know what's really weird too, like Clobby, what's really strange about all this is it's like the more you dial back the stories and the television from this time, the more accessible I find some of these more abstract concepts. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like when I was in university, I was studying basically what people refer to as the formula for linguistics. And, you know, so we're doing tree diagramming, and there's a difference between the form and the function of a word, and what its placement is, and what it does in the English language. And so you're talking about abstractions, and so it shuts some people's brains off. But I just, when it comes to these more advanced scientific topics, when they're presented in this way, they just seem so inviting and so accessible. You just want to go in, and you just want to dive in, and you want to learn more. And they are just so passionate and inspiring. It's no wonder that's, you know, like when our IQs were absolutely at the highest, and when we were trying to achieve so much. It's so inspiring. I just love it. Anyway, sorry guys.
Nothing to be sorry. Wonderful.
That's great stuff.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And we are getting more stupidly, aren't we? Was that the IQ is dropping?
Yep.
I definitely is getting more stupid myself.
Yep.
Maybe I said I myself is definitely more getting stupid.
And we had leaded gasoline. Imagine how smart we would have been if we didn't have leaded gasoline.
Well, that's to keep Superman from seeing through it.
I always put leaded gasoline in my Mustang. Yep.
Yeah, so that's it for me, folks. It was a great deal of fun. So if Larry is out there, and I know he is, I love Larry. The horn is really good. It is for music nerds, people who study sound as a science. It's not just like, Toot playing his little horn, and it sounds pleasant. Really gets into the science of, it takes you to the places of brown noise. It takes you to the places of white noise, and all of this beautiful science. So the horn is really good. Also, Blender. Blender gets into atomic energy and atomic science, but it's very accessible. It's extremely inspiring. It was a ton of fun. So Blender and the Horn, and I hope you all will imbibe. Lots of fun.
Excellent. And, Michael Beacom had a follow-up to his other message. Yeah, Wade was a millionaire from real estate. He built a full-on 300-seat theater with concessions, the works next to his house. He had over 20,000 films on 35 millimeter. Whoa, that sounds fun. That would be. I'd like to live next door to that.
Yeah, but was the popcorn good? How was the popcorn?
Well, I guess since he made the whole place, I bet it was good popcorn.
Yeah.
Whoa!
You know?
Whoa!
What
happened to StreamYard?
What do you mean?
What?
On my side of StreamYard, I now
Looks
have
fun.
3 tabs.
Well, yeah, you have super chat tab. Yep.
It saves the super chats now.
Yeah, so you don't miss super chats.
Holy crap!
You saved a couple of.
Amazing! Yay!
By the way, you saved a couple of chats. I'll see what they are. A while back, you did anyway, from way back. Dave C said, "Armbriggs, not sure if I mentioned it, but I got your book and can't wait to start reading." Did you read this one already?
I did that. I did. I forgot to unstart. Sorry,
no
boss.
problem. Okay, and this other one here. Okay, I got you.
So there are 3 tabs now. There are 3 tabs.
No, only yeah, but if there were no super chats, it doesn't pop up. It only pops up when you have one. Then it saves it for you.
Wow, that's great.
For some reason, 6 is drooling. I want to know why now.
Michael, I'm drooling.
The theater. Yeah.
No, yeah. I think the book.
6 said that.
I only have 1,700 books.
Saving my life. Yeah, it is 6. I love the super chat thingy.
Yeah,
and,
boss.
Yeah.
I think that she means that she's drooling about the books.
Oh, could be. I thought she was talking about the movie theater. She's talking to Michael.
Oh no, here she is. The books. Yeah.
The books, okay.
I got you 6. Love you, baby.
Sorry to mischaracterize your drool there, 6.
And don't forget to wipe your mouth.
I love the books, but of course, also I love the the theater there. I like them both.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just so I guess he had actually had well, here's his. We could take a slight detour. Let's talk about Wade Williams for a couple seconds or a minute, maybe here. I guess so. He saved all these episodes, Michael. He had them, I guess, and then they made a DVD from his collection. It sounds like, if I'm reading that the right way.
Wow.
So we saved. Oh, we recognize that movie, right? Is that Space Vampires, or is that no? That's the Martian. Oh, Venus.
Robert XM is one of them. Sure.
Yeah.
I see Cesar Romero. I don't know what movie that is.
Some of
is
those
that the
are
Mole
really
Man?
Good.
Yeah. So let's see history. Yep. The motion picture arc.
I see Bela Lugosi.
I watched some of those with Hungry Boy, and I watched some of them by myself.
That's good.
Oh, I can't remember the name of this movie, but they had the aliens with the ape suit with the helmet. Oh, what was the name of that movie?
I never remember any of the movies.
Yeah, never
Robot Monster. Robot Monster.
Yeah. So let's see what the history is. Let's see the history. Maybe they tell us a little bit about it. Yep. Amidst all this chaos in the fall of 1951, a 9-year-old Wade Williams saw a new movie that would change the course of his life forever. The film was called Flight to Mars, and it opened up his mind to new ideas, new frontiers, and the promise of a new, exciting future. Young Wade promptly traded in his hoppy outfit, Roy Rogers 6-shooters, and Gene Autry comics for space helmets, rocket ships, and space guns and ray guns. Wow, look at that. He's got his 35 millimeter Holmes projector. Wow. That's a movie theater projector he had. Yep. And that year, movies like Rocket Ship XM, Destination Moon, The Thing, The Man from Planet X, When Worlds Collide, and The Day the Earth Stood Still were big box office hits. Television launched Space Patrol and Tom Corbett's Space Cadet. Wade was enthralled with these new adventures and visions of the future. With the advent of home video still years away, strong interest in science fiction films required you get a projector to find prints of the movies he loved. You know, if you need, got to do it, right? That's amazing. At the age of 12, Wade's grandfather brought him an old Holmes 35 millimeter portable sound projector. A shed in the backyard was the projection booth. A painted white fence, the screen. On many summer nights, the backyard drive-in would be filled with friends and neighbors, munching on popcorn, watching movies on the painted board fence. It's the beginning of something big, and that's amazing because I do that with the family. It's easy now. You just put your projector in the back screen and no film to load. Yep. Wade made friends with local movie theater owners and people who worked the film exchanges on Film Row, a 4-block business district in downtown KC, where the theater owners would pick up films and posters to screen. The National Screen Service is one of those businesses. They distributed movie posters and 35 millimeter preview trailers for the studios. When the posters and trailers came back from the local theaters, the manager would let Wade buy posters and rummage through the barrels of trailers that were discarded weekly. Oh, could you only imagine? Oh, wow. The studio's like was with junk used film prints in a landfill or the river, yeah, instead of paying the shipping to send them back to Hollywood. Wade had his pick of these movies. The first feature film he acquired was Edgar G. Ulmer's The Man from Planet X, and the first poster was Flight to Mars. Yeah, no one wanted to save that stuff. Can you imagine? They just wanted to throw it out. Yeah. Wade's parents bought a house in the suburbs, and Wade built a projection booth in his basement. I love this. He got hold of 2 Simplex 35 millimeter carbon arc projectors with super plantar cinemascope lenses from a closed down theater, installed them in the basement along with a 14-foot cinemascopic movie screen. Oh, this is just so cool. Look at the when you see these old projectors. There was a theater in our town or near our town that had some old movie projectors. It was a restored old theater, and they just had it in the lobby. It's just so amazing. So Wade entertained family, friends, and neighbors with the screenings. Home theaters were exceptionally rare outside of the homes of celebrities in Hollywood, and Wade took pride in the little theater he had built. It also served as a storage archive for his burgeoning collection. By now, Wade had amassed over 300 feature films, a closet full of movie posters, and boxes full of movie trailers and cartoons. So I'll skim down. Wow, this is a long article to read, but that's just amazing. He was in the Air Force. Wow. Loadmaster on a C-124 transport. And the following year, Wade co-wrote, produced, and directed a 35 millimeter color sci-fi feature film entitled "Terror from the Stars." So wow, they made his own movie. So he put his money where his mouth was, right? He had been bitten by the film bug. He'd be back for more. So again, as Michael said, yeah, he did very well for himself. He bought a 50-room mansion in Kansas City and converted the grand ballroom to a private 100-seat movie theater. Yes, who needs to dance when you can watch science fiction movies?
When did he make this theater?
1966, I guess. So, and he would screen movies for celebrities, as Martin Scorsese, Frank Capra, wow, many others. In 1970, he got back into film production. Let's see. Look at his archives here. His film vault. It's just amazing. Yeah, because you couldn't watch old stuff. I mean, that was the thing. You had to wait for it to be on TV. There was no VHS. So, and things would... so we'd locate owners of these films and buy the rights, hoping the new venue of cable TV might need movies to show. He was right. His first cable license was with the USA Network. It was the beginning of the Wade Williams collection. Wow, this is just so amazing. So he started buying films. That's just so amazing. So just love this story. You know, something you saw as a kid and it became a life passion. Yeah. And he saved all these films too. So things just, you know,
incredible,
get lost forever. Yeah.
Wow.
He has a copy of Devil Woman from Mars.
I'm sure he does, probably. Yeah.
HB reminded me of what the name of the movie was. It's up at the top.
Devil Woman from Mars. Okay, yep.
Yeah. I liked that movie.
His last theater was completely separate from the house you walk down the sidewalk, says Michael. Wow.
Amazing, yeah. So we teamed in 1983. He opened a fine arts theater. First theater in the suburbs to offer art house fare. Yeah, because we have a theater like that in nearby town where it's all, you know, second run movies or old movies.
Yeah.
And they'll offer they'll have, you know, people involved with the movie come to speak. So you know, it's just amazing. You know, and they have like I went to see movie on the Beatles, and they had like the writer and director there.
I would be there every weekend.
Gene Wilder was there. They did Blazing Saddles. They showed Blazing Saddles. Imagine going to those. Obviously, like 10 years ago, but he came to the movie theater. I couldn't get tickets; it was sold out. But they had a Q&A with Gene and watched Blazing Saddles. So those places are fantastic. Yeah. So this is just I'll put this link in, but thank you for that. Yeah, just so here's his dream theater here, right? Let's see what they say.
We got pictures of the theater.
Well, I guess the dream theater. I'm guessing this is his theater they built on his property. Let's see. Wade lives and works halfway to Hollywood in Kansas City. His office is located above this private 100-seat movie theater, aptly named the Dream Theater, designed after a small-town picture show. Wade's association with his brothers also established the Film Works. Let's see. So here's his theaters, I guess. Yeah, that's just so cool. Yeah.
Unreal.
That's the theater down from his house. You can't click on it, but I just love that. Yeah.
Hey, Retro Blasting, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Michael.
Good to see you there, dude.
Yeah, it's just
Hi,
incredible.
Michael.
Yeah.
How are you, sweetie?
All right, good to see you there, brother. Hope you're doing great. This is damn cool here.
That was a good detour. Thank you, Michael.
HB,
yeah.
the consummate artist. I love the aqua doors. Of course, he finds
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's just something so special about going to the movie theater. I mean, it just, we've got Retro Boston. Here's a huge indie fan, and one of my, best theater members is being in the opening night, going to see Second Raiders of the Lost Ark, Second Raiders movie, just Temple of Doom, just that opening scene with that number, and then everyone in the crowd was just going crazy, everyone cheering. It's like you're at a rock concert. So as much as, streaming is nice, and you're in the comfort of your own home, there's nothing like seeing a movie
in the theater.
Yeah, being a crowd, and I could close my eyes and picture anything goes. I can just see that on the movie screen, and that scene, with Indy, and then just everyone was just cheering and going crazy at everything. So just one of the most fun times you can have,
like
and you can't get that at home.
Hey, like
Yeah.
don't you feel that? Like, remember when our grandparents used to say things like, I want to watch the stories, or I want to watch the plays on the box. Like it's funny, because what it was access to something that people wouldn't be able to normally afford. Like, people couldn't go to theater and to plays every night, and to the ballet, and to the opera, and to all of these things, and it just wouldn't be feasible for all the different types of information and the shows, and the musicals, and then they were in our living rooms in the radio, and then they were in our living rooms with the television. And our relationship with it has changed so much. I just wish that sometimes people would turn around and look behind their shoulder at what we've left behind us, and how we got here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I set up the home projector during the summer, or the projector outside, and get some neighborhood kids and friends, or I'll watch sports. So it's always more fun when you get a crowd, but there's nothing like a full movie theater. Like, I remember my dad took me to the library to see A Trip to the Moon. They had like a science fiction night. I think they showed a couple movies, but they showed, because this is so short. But I remember seeing that at a screening in the local library has a small auditorium / movie theater. And it was just so much fun to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're in our audience, you have to watch Metropolis. I'm assuming everyone has seen Metropolis, but that's a must-watch science fiction movie.
Well,
we have some folks reminiscing about what it was like to go to the drive-in and how they missed the drive-in. We have some folks in the chat who are discussing how beautiful Art Deco is, and how it's nice to, look at a building in all of its finery. And some really beautiful conversations developing here.
But now we should probably get on to our UFO episode, though.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Looks so good. Sorry, I'm just that's amazing.
Mark.
Oh, I
Let me
love
put this
that. I
link.
love it.
Thank you,
Mark is
Michael
a
B.
giant
Yeah.
geek,
Thank
and
you,
so
Michael.
is Clobby. If I left them here,
Michael Beacom.
like to just talk like this, we could go on all night.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, great stuff. And he did all that, and he saved all those films, and that's great. That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so did you want me to read the description of the story from Wikipedia,
Yes,
boss?
everyone.
Because
Here we go. Our weekly segment now. Of course, for those who don't know, a few weeks back, we started reviewing the great classic Jerry Anderson masterpiece TV show called UFO. UFO to some. Sorry.
Mhm.
We're and now we're on episode what 7?
We are Prod Code
7, yeah.
7.
All right, so here we go. Let's take it away. Number 1. This is there we go. We're the episode the Dalotech affair. Go for it.
Yeah, the Dalotech Affair is season 1, episode 17, ITV. So it's way down there for ITV, but it's production code 7. And it first aired on February 10th, 1971. And now I'm going to look up here to Wikipedia, and so we can stay copyright compliant and use user-generated information. Not to mention the fact that we do have a book picked out for this show. It's a glorious book. It is the sexiest book ever. I think it's $500 or $600 Canadian. It's hard to get your hot little hands on that book, but Mark's trying.
Trying, yep.
But
We'll
in
find
the
it
Someday.
sometime.
yes, in the meantime, we'll just use this and we'll use it as our launching off point. And if it's incorrect, I promise we will fix it for you folks. We will discuss it. This is just a launching off point.
Well, Michael Beacom says there are no periods between the U and the F and the O, so UFO is probably correct. And that's what they once in a while on the show they say UFO, and many times they say UFO. But number one, Achilles child, roll tide. But number 1 loves saying UFO, so we like.
Well, UFO is what the show was originally called. So it was going to have an E in the title, and it was going to be UFO. And it's also shadow speak. So it is.
Right.
It would be tantamount to talking as though you're on the set, not on the set, but as though you were in the village in The Prisoner. So it's very much being in character, which is why I like UFO.
But the term is UFO, though. Like when you hear people discussing it over, for us, like even in the beginning of this episode, which is an interesting way. Anyway, let's get started with it.
But it's fun it's fun to say that though. Yeah, I love hearing Raquel say UFO.
Well, and as far as the terminal marks go, everyone should know too that has nothing to do with it being a word. It's still an acronym, but it's using MLA style. In MLA style, they don't use terminal marks in acronyms because MLA is for the humanities, and humanities likes to keep its prose, its manuscripts as taut as possible. And they don't like any type of visual noise. So when you're looking toward these in-text citation or the rendering style guide for MLA, you're not looking at any terminal marks in acronyms. So that is a very common thing. You're going to see that all over the place. Where you start to see the terminal marks in acronyms are when you look to like APA. APA is a style that's the American Psychological Association, but it's also the scientific benchmark for in-text citation and rendering manuscripts. So if you're not seeing those terminal marks, it isn't that they are correct or incorrect. It's just a matter of style. For me, I use APA when I'm working on things at a master's level and a doctoral level, and obviously I use MLA when I'm doing things for humanities and fine arts. And so I hope that clears that up.
Not to me, because I don't understand a word of it, because I'm an idiot in 4th grade.
You're not an idiot.
Not an idiot.
I'm the captain. I decide who's an idiot and not around here.
Oh, honey, well, you're not. I love you. Okay, so from Wikipedia, folks,
It's in order.
the episode is almost entirely a flashback that Colonel Foster has as he sees a woman while dining with Colonel Alec Freeman. Whoever wrote that, you need to be smacked. I don't advocate violence, but just like maybe like some sort of like pretend smack. Anyway, unexplained communication blackouts are affecting the shadow moon base. Foster believes that the nearby Dalotech Corporation lunar base may be causing the issues through use of their geological scanner. During another blackout, a lunar module crashes when trying to land, killing the crew on board. Foster investigates Dalotech and disables a piece of their equipment thought to be the cause. However, this does not stop the blackouts. The Dalotech team discovers an alien jamming device placed by the aliens in a lunar crater using a meteor that crashed on the moon, a fact that Commander Straker realizes while watching a TV interview with Dr. Frank Stranges. Foster sends out a team to destroy the jamming device before an incoming alien UFO attacks moon base. With the device destroyed, the UFO can be targeted and also destroyed. The epilogue reveals that the woman was Jane Carson, the Dalotech employee Foster was flirting with, who had her memory wiped due to shadow security protocols. And that is all the internet has to say about the Dalotech affair. And now I'm going to throw it over to the captain. Captain, my captain, tell me, what'd you think of this episode?
Oh, it was a top notcher. It was excellent. Although, excuse me, the guy who's at the beginning interviewing the doctor, who's also now working for Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I can never see that guy without thinking of Superman the movie, because he's the guy. He's one of the newsreaders in that. But anyway, so I don't know why. This is a great episode, though. It's a fascinating idea. There was one. I did have one bit of a question. It's a nitpick, so don't shoot me. But there's a bit, Dalotech is a private company and they have a base on the moon.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Michael Beacom says he has to run. Oh, Michael, take it easy, buddy.
Tell Cassandra I said good night. Good night, cute Beacums.
All right. Good to see you, but thank you so much for being here, Michael. Appreciate it, buddy, and all you do. So Dalotech is a private firm, a private corporation, and they have a moon base, which is fine. That's a good story. There's a scene though what kind of confuses me when Straker is talking to talking to Lord Barusa from Doctor Who, the Five Doctors episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy playing the president of Dalotech.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that Straker is a colonel in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I thought the Harlington Straker cover has everyone in the world thinks Straker's a movie producer.
Mm-hmm.
So
he does say colonel?
Yes.
The transcript, yeah. I'm not doubting it. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah.
Well, I always
mistake.
thought it was just because like they don't have a moon base up there. It was like he was running this corporation, and they wanted to go to the moon. I can't remember what Stricker said. I think it's a permit of 10 to 14 days they have left up there, and I think that's the reason why. And I think
Colonel, he knows he's military.
Yeah, and I think that's how they developed this corporate contract to go up there.
Well, sorry, I was just saying he was in the military as his cover, right? So maybe like I like one of my friends of mine, I'd call him Commander. Now. I know, but I call him, but like people I knew, you'd call him Colonel or.
But this guy's bossing, but Straker's bossing him around like, hey, we're letting you go sit up there. I could take you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's 8-year-old toys. Again, it's just a nitpick. I think in the writing, they kind of made a mistake.
For me, it doesn't seem like a mistake because, when I was growing up and you think of Philip Morris and you think of all these huge corporations, General Electric and things like that, many of them were run by scientists, and many of them had access to information that the public didn't have. And so this corporate guy, I'm not quite sure if he's like developing some type of energy or what's happening with him with that particular piece of equipment that they're testing. But I do think that it is military affiliated. I think that once that piece of equipment is finished, it will be used by Straker and his team. So I think that he was, debriefed and told, this is what's going to happen. If anything happens with your people, we're going to mind wipe them. You get up there, you have, I forget what Straker said it is. It's either 10 or 14 days. You have 10 or 14 days to get up there,
Right.
Get what you need, and get the hell out of there. So,
well, some say he knew
yeah.
Straker was military.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that he knew, and I think it's just a very different time in our lives when corporations had a lot of power, and they were very closely aligned with the government. And I mean,
he might have known that about the cover.
Yeah, I think so too.
President of the corporation. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm kind of puzzled that he would, but because he acted like. I don't know. He definitely knew the Straker's military. So I don't know. Not a big deal.
Straker's very against him being there. He says the private corporation has no business on the moon. Besides, all the valuable mineral deposits were taken away long ago. Well, that's something I would dispute too, because that'd be nigh impossible. But I guess they just throwing it out there. They don't want private corporation messing anywhere near the military installation because it could be dangerous, but they can't admit what's going on because they can't say, we're fighting a war against aliens, and then he says, no, Dalatech is just wasting time and money. That's their problem. Now it's our problem, Alec.
That's what I'm saying. That the world the rest of the world anyway knows Straker as a movie producer. So anyway, this is on with the episode. This is a fascinating story. I love it. Well,
because part of it's the cover up.
Yeah. So I totally agree, Clubby, that it's good to question that, and I definitely respect your perspective on that. For me, I just always sort of thought of it as the corporate guy got debriefed that the military was up there and to not mess around and do exactly as you're told up there. I don't think he knows anything about the aliens or anything like that, but I do think that he was told to report to Straker and not to say anything.
Yeah, I would say since Straker's fairly well known considering he's a movie producer. That's right. His cover, so this guy knows that well-known movie producer of the Harlington Straker is really working for the government, a highly placed government guy with a moon base. I'm just saying. But hey, Lisa.
Well, I didn't really
Lisa,
think about
there.
Hey, Lisa, I didn't really think about it as a moon base because the boss clearly says that it's a temporary thing and that they're testing a piece of equipment up there. So the way that my perception of it is that once that testing is done, they're done and dusted and they're out of there. There's no base there. But moreover, I think it also has to do with the fact that there are a very limited amount of astronauts and people involved with testing this equipment and prepping this equipment for the military. So the first place that my mind goes is, small world. This corporate guy who wants to go to the moon definitely had to have some type of debriefing, definitely had to meet with the government, definitely had to meet with the military before they allowed him to go up there. He's been sworn to secrecy. And this is how the things are going to go down. But
okay.
But that's also me doing fill-ins because I just like the show. Like when you like a show, you make excuses for it and fill stuff in.
I don't blame. Look, like with Star Trek, jumping 200 years and into 300 years, I'm like, I love it anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So you're like, meh. But I totally agree with you though, boss.
I got you covered. Well, remember, like some of the early episodes of Trek, how they said certain things and later just changed the terminology, like Space Fleet Command, or they would call Starfleet or things. They have a couple of weird names for Starfleet, and then later they come on with eventually calling it Starfleet, and it was Federation. I mean, they were honing things. This is still early on. Who knows?
Yeah.
It was Gene L. Kuhn who came forward and said, let's organize this.
Right.
Let's get some specific names and develop these specific bodies. And so we're going to have
right. You tweak sometimes. Yeah.
Pardon?
You tweak things along the way a little bit.
Yeah. You have to tweak things, and it's also I also find out when you start watching things in production order that different things come to light that
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
come
yeah.
to
Oh,
light
yeah.
when you're watching in broadcast order. So
Yeah.
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 So Paul Foster is I know you're not. I know you're still not a big fan of his character. I really think he's a good character, but he in this situation, I guess he's I don't know. So, well, I guess we'll save it to the end because there's something at the end that's kind of funny for me. But let's continue the episode or whatever. Well, Mark, my bad.
Ezra Goldstein says corporations are still powerful and close ties with governments, Raquel. Now more than ever. However, the people who have been running the corporations and the consolidation of power and money is much different. But Ezra Goldstein, I am definitely a student of Theodore Adorno. And so, yeah, I definitely agree that corporations are very closely allied with the government. But in the 1970s, they had a very specific function, and I think it was a little bit different than it is today, right, which goes beyond the scope and mandate of this particular broadcast. But definitely, I agree.
Absolutely. Abigor, hey.
Hey, Abigor.
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting episode. It's a lot of sort of a Paul Foster episode, I guess.
Yeah, does anybody else miss Gay Ellis? I do.
Yeah, what is it? I guess we'll see her later more, right?
Yeah, and
happen to be off duty.
Yeah, and it sucks because we're watching it in this order. And now, like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll warm up to the production order of this show. I mean, the production order of TOS is basically like the heavens opened up and God reaches his golden hand down and goes, oh. Like one day I'll love it, maybe. But for just right now, for me, this belongs as number 17.
I love her, though.
Yeah, she's
I love her.
Yeah, that was a dreamy episode. Yeah, the tension here in this episode is, of course, between the civilians, and they do. I posted some quotes, and they do know it's a military installation there. So you've got that, the civilian military conflict. You've got private enterprise up there, and they have no idea what's going on with the UFOs, obviously, though. So they might have a different attitude. So Paul, he's got to protect the earth, and he knows he's got to do what he has to do, and the people there think he's just being a jerk maybe at first, or just trying to overstep his power. So she always the two guys, I should say, she was swooning.
He's swaving the boner.
Yeah. So at least I'm just copying that from the if you when you watch something, you can open subtitles, you can download the subtitle track. So I do that, and I'm used to just watching shows. I always have the subtitles on. If it's late at night, I don't want to disturb anyone. I have the volume real low and the subtitles rolling. So, but thank you. Yeah. So then you can always check too with what people say. So it's fun way to see what you don't miss anything in the script. But the other big mistake in here too is they talk about Congressman Gerald Ford. So if this set is set in the
it's 1980, the
1980,
Gerald taking place in 1968.
Oh, it was all right. You got okay. That's correct then.
Was
okay.
it 68 or was it 67?
I'm talking about 68 or 67. That's at the opening interview on TV. Yes, around.
Yeah, but then they would have
Dr. Frank Strange's.
Right.
Yeah, but then you would think they would mention when they talk about it, just
way before Gerald
Ford became no one ever would have known.
President.
Ford was an unelected president when Nixon. Spiro Agnew resigned as the vice president. Then Nixon resigned. So then you had. I think that's probably the only
this
unelected.
Episode was made in 1970. So
yeah. So because that's
way
just
before,
just fun.
Gerald
fun
Ford
trivia.
was the household name.
Yeah. Great athlete, our best athlete as president.
That's true.
Although he's famous for stumbling, but so the great tension here, and of course they throw in this kind of fling, but it was well done, I think, just as we're looking at her, just because of the flirtatious aspect of it didn't take away from the plot too much, and it kind of opened up the communication. So when you have that great scene, when the rovers dropping the landline so they can both make sure they can use dial-up, I guess. So make
It's a
sure they can use
landline. That was pretty funny.
yeah, AOL, so they can use their send IMs to each other. But yeah, but no, it was the whole episode holds up because the aliens have used
You're
the
laughing,
meteorite.
but you're supposed to be an engineer. And as a communications and technology scholar, I got to bust your chops now because you know just as well as I do that if everyone still had their telephone and their telephone line, if the power went out, would their telephone still work? You're darn tootin' it would. And nowadays,
old telephone system.
No one's telephone works when the power goes out. So landline is the landline, the telephone line is the ultimate power in communications. And I think it's a huge mistake. You don't have to be a Luddite to say that it's a huge mistake that we lost that connectivity through the phone line, which was analog all the way, baby, and could not basically, no power.
Well, yeah, because the telephone system was designed to survive, so it actually has current running through it. So there's actually power going through it. So
that's right.
Until maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, it was $50 a month to keep the landline. I didn't want to cut it, but I remember we had some big storms here, and clobbering times. You get hurricanes down your way, unfortunately, and the old-fashioned telephone line was working, and everyone who had cell phones was long enough ago that people still had landlines, but most people had internet phone lines all went out. So we had phone was working, and my mom keeps wanting to cancel her copper phone line. I said, no, you can never cancel your phone. You have to keep it because she's in a spot where could maybe flood, and I'm like, you have to have that line because it was designed. And the shame that what the phone company's doing now actually is they're cutting a lot of these copper lines and pulling them out. So even if you get your service turned off, it can never go back on again. So we joke about the tin can with the string, but you're
joking about
right.
it, but
it's the best, it's the most reliable form of communication with
in
a line
in a hurricane, in a tornado, in any horrible situation. That landline is going to work. The conventional telephone line will work. And unfortunately, all other telephones will not work under those circumstances. And you require power. And once your phone goes out, that's it. So it is quite sad that we got rid of that technology. It would have been nice if we would have held on to that technology and then just added to it. I think it's nice to add to technology, but when you force obsolescence, and that obsolescence makes you less safe, I think it's not a very good decision. And
it's about the it's the money,
yes, but it's very, 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 very foolhardy that we got rid of the telephone lines that don't require anything but for you to pick them up and say, send an ambulance, send this, send that. I'm help. I've fallen and I can't get up. And now, you just have your cell phone. And if you have a quote unquote, I know there are people out there who are utterly convinced that they have a landline, but what they actually have is a modem in their basement, and they're plugging their phone in, and it's to a modem.
Yep. I still have my 300 baud Hayes modem and dial-up. Really? Saved it, but 300 baud, yep. Take that, boys, and goes 300 baud, not megabits per second. Yeah. And Eric has a great point. Safety tip. Always have a phone that works without power. A lot of these new phones are, if you do happen to have an old landline, either you've got to have a battery backup, or a lot of people have, those phones with the answer machines in them back in the day, and then the power would go out and then their phone wouldn't work. So it's always good to have an old-fashioned phone.
Not good. Everyone's in that position now, and there are very few people who still have their landline. Six still has her landline. I think I saw her say somewhere here in the chat, she said, Raquel, I've still got my landline. She still has her conventional line. I think it's Six who still has
it.
It
works if I don't have power, she says.
Yeah, that's
That's-
great. That's absolutely wonderful. But yes, sorry everyone. I just had to. That's
No,
where
it's
our
great to
that's
talk
where Mark and I that's where our two professions meet. Where I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
about. Yeah.
He supports it though. He does.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, for
I,
sure.
we finally cut. I hated a slight art disagreement with my wife, but for $50 a month, the $50 a month argument won out, and versus the free. Now my landline is the funny thing is my grandmother had the phone number from the 30s, and I transferred my phone number to my house, and then I was able to actually transfer that phone to a Google Voice. I had to do some machinations to get it to transfer, but I have that set up as a Google Voice number now as my grandmother's. Like a phone, family phone numbers everyone remembers, right?
That's very sweet.
And
Yeah.
as kids too, like I remember some of my buddies' phone numbers growing up, and some of it was the pattern on the phone. And now I don't remember any phone numbers because I'm just pushing the button on the phone with
So
their
how
face
rich
on
was
it.
your grandma? How
Oh
rich was your
no,
grandma? Was it a crank
no,
phone, or could she just pick
no,
it up?
no. She had the yeah, she had the it was rotary phones at first, right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah,
very
which
cute.
crank phone. But no, she was born in the 1915 or 1920. Yeah, so they had the operator. She told me pick up the phone, and you'd ask to talk to. I'd like to talk to Carol so and so, and then the
That's exactly
operator
what you
would get.
say.
There
I
were no
remember
phone
picking up the
numbers.
phone and saying, "Hello, operator. I would like a person. I would like to place a person-to-person call to
Yeah,
blah 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 blah."
no number. Yeah,
Yeah, right. So anyway, it's just my opportunity to let folks know that that might look hokey, what is being done up there, but that's actually what you have to resort to when you will actually go into outer space, because a lot of times you will be in situations where what we call in the business hard connection, is required in order to have a secure connection. And this is also my opportunity to tell you, as your resident communications and technology scholar, to beware of obsolescence, forced obsolescence. What are you giving up? And so, would I like to see the entire population of North America with a conventional telephone line? The answer is yes, Virginia. There is a Santa Claus. No, I'm kidding. Yes, we should all have that safety line, that tether to society and to help should we need it, and we don't have it anymore.
There you go.
yeah. Well, and they planned for that too. Like he had that landline ready to go, or that wire, the wire ready to go.
Yeah,
It was,
That's
for
one hell of a
something.
long
Yeah,
cord
Yep.
cable there.
yeah.
Yep.
But
Well, that's
they
what you
were
have to
ready for
resort
that
to, right?
contingency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when unfortunately I have spent a summer or two helping folks do installs and helping with connectivity and helping install the internet in homes. And yeah, it's quite funny because that's your proving ground. Your proving ground is your absolute connection, in order to figure out what's going on. Certainly not, wireless is not always reliable. So looks hokey, not hokey. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and they also mentioned some great science here too, the sunspots and communication interference, which
Yes.
definitely happens, and that they had the right science in terms of that too. So
Listen, man, one solar flare and all these people who think they're Google smart and all these people with all their inventions, what are they going to be doing? They'll be
they're
sitting
gonna be reading
in a
books
field.
again.
Yes, reading books again, and we're going to have telephone lines again. Goodness knows, we can only hope all of the blue face will end, and, and everyone will go
Yep.
back to normal.
Well, yeah, there was an incident. Well, I can't forget the name of it. It was 1880s or solar activity. They said if that had happened today, that would have knocked everything out for years,
know.
possibly, or send us
Isn't it
back to the
wonderful?
dark ages. Yeah.
You know what I'm doing? Cross your fingers. Just cross your fingers. It'll be so great. Just gone. Bye. And then everybody who is actually an engineer will be an engineer. They won't be a YouTube engineer. And
Oh, the Carrington event. Sorry, 1859, the Carrington event.
yes, and people who are like, people will actually be good at what they do again. See, this is why you're my friend, is because in real life you don't have to Google the things you know, which is why you're on my zombie apocalypse team.
Yeah.
Well,
It would be yeah. Yeah, it was like yeah. So the Carrington event of 1859 was the first documented event of a solar flare impacting Earth. The event occurred on September 1st. Is named after Richard Carrington, the solar astronomer who witnessed the event through his private observatory telescope and sketched the sun's sunspots at the time. The flare was the largest documented solar flare in the last 500 years. So it sparked things that were visible south in the Caribbean. And back then, and this is 1859, severe interruptions in global telegraph communications, even shocking some telegraph operators and sparking fires when discharges from the lines ignited telegraph paper, according to the NASA description.
So cool.
So that, yeah. So, but that would have been a major disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of course they referenced that so well in the episode, which is so cool.
It's just so beautiful the way that telegraph lines and telephone lines, you think of them as knitting together the quilt of a nation. At least that's the way I think about it. I know it's very romantic, folks. You know, you all were wondering if there are any romantic notions within me. Well, here are my romantic notions.
Cable lines.
They're very nerdy. But yeah, I see those beautiful telephone lines and those telegraph lines. I see them as this beautiful filament, this golden filament that has sewn together the quilt of a nation. And you have all of these people now connected and with this sense of belonging in this beautiful country. It is a very romantic, wonderful thing. And it's so sad because now all of those souls are bouncing all of their feelings off of satellites, and then they bounce back onto them. It's kind of like getting plunked on the head with that commercial, should have had a V8, where you get punked or like punched in the forehead or whatever. It's more like that than it is this glorious, Technicolor quilt, knitting together or sewing together the lives of all of these people. The telegraph and the telephone were just absolutely marvelous inventions, and how much they improved our society. And our current phones, our current little tiny metal boxes, are little boxes that make everyone insane.
They're not
except for those of you watching our show tonight.
Anyway, so that was a wonderful digression. Shall we get back on track
Yeah,
before the captain calls for our agonizers?
He's going to clobber us.
Yes, we're going to get... Well, I won't get clobbered,
nerds.
but we'll definitely get the agonizer.
You're good. You're all good. So where were we again? Oh, UFO
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
7, the Dalek affair. Exterminate Raker. No. So this guy here and that guy there. And here we go.
Dr. Strange.
That is Strangers.
Oh, okay.
Strangest. Yeah.
And actually, MacArthur did not say that quote that's attributed to him. So that's a.
Did he really?
He never said that. Yeah, MacArthur had said.
Why do you say MacArthur said that?
Well, because it's one of those false quotes that's been attributed to someone. He actually said that. I did some research on it. He did say that hundreds of years in the future, we could be fighting aliens. But he said he told the cadets of West Point, but it's not an exact quote.
It's a misquote. That's what you're saying.
It's a misquote. Yeah. So
guys,
he said,
can I interrupt for 2 wags of a puppy's tail, because something very important is happening in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah, Chris has to go to bed. So, Chris, I love you, honey.
Buddy.
Have a great sleep. Mwah, mwah.
Yep.
Thank you so
Hey,
much
Chris,
for joining
thanks.
us.
Yep.
Everyone,
Yeah,
please say goodnight to Chris. Persia, please.
Sleep well, bub.
Anyway, I beg your pardon. Please continue, Mark.
Yeah. So what had happened was MacArthur had made a visit to someone in Naples, the mayor of Naples, and the mayor quoted him as saying that MacArthur expressed belief that someday, perhaps as far as 1,000 years in the future, the people of Earth might find themselves facing an extraterrestrial confrontation. So, and he thought that there was life on another planet. So, but it was, it was just kind of something that gets attributed and then keeps.
Right.
So I just posted the link to that, so it keeps going.
I got you.
Posited, but it's he didn't. It's a little bit different, but he's
It's
obviously
broad,
contemplating. Yeah, it's very more broad than that specificity.
Sure, sure.
And of course, now with the government releasing all these UFO files and the pilots that are seeing all the UFOs, and it's confirmed that they're seeing these. The government's releasing all these UFO videos. So we've mentioned it before. So it's, I think there's someone out there. So it's interesting.
Yeah. There you go. Well, cool episode. Very well done. Very interesting drama. And Colonel Foster, getting the lady, even though it was interesting toward the end there where, these people were pretty reasonable. They realized they were going to have their memories taken away, and they were all pretty casual about it, right? They didn't have to force them or anything. They just said, okay, whatever, we'll do it.
But why did the guy
wonder about their boss? Is he going to have his memory?
No, I don't think so.
I guess not. Okay. So it's just these three people are going to have their memory taken away. But then later when he goes and talks to her at the club, what'd you say, Mark? What were you about to...
Well, I was going to say when he says, the guy says, you can trust me, I'm never going to say anything. And he says, then they say, oh, well, you're going to take your amnesia shots. And, it's kind of like he ignored that. It's like, well, it was weird. It was like that line was juxtaposed. It should have been like, well, we actually have to give you amnesia shots because even though we maybe can trust you.
Oh, I guess I will forget after all then. Yeah. So
yeah, I think that was just like a way for the teleplay to set it up, because how else would you don't imagine yourself as a viewer right now. Imagine yourself as an author. How would you bring that up? You'd be like, hey, look, it's time for you to go for your rabies vaccination. Let's go.
Well, they had at some point tell him, hey, we're going to wipe your memory. Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. We understand.
Yeah. So exactly. So I think that was the way of broaching it.
Yeah, because it's weird. He says it's a safe secret with me, and then they say, have the amnesia shots been laid on for the Dialotech team? And it was kind of a weird. It was kind of just strange. Before. Yeah, I think that line should have been just changed just a little bit. That's just me. If I was a writer, I would have said
it could have been more been a lot smoother.
Yeah, but it's minor stuff.
Yeah, it's minor. But what got me was the end there when he's sitting there with Alec and he sees the lady, and he's just like, this dude. I think you're right, Raquel. He is a prick.
He is. He walks right over to that table.
Walks over to the table. She's with another dude, and he sits there and he CBs that guy.
Yep.
Like, hey man, I know you're sitting there with her and all. But apparently you ain't getting so far, so you can sit here and watch how it's done, baby. And he sits right there. And the dude, the episode ends. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing?
They also imply that he has, bumped uglies with her a couple of times, and that he could just later her if he wanted.
Well, he was going to rock the geologist's world that night.
Well, I mean, I don't think you mean on the moon.
Oh,
you think they did something? They were
that was
on the moon.
Come on, that was a good
Clubby,
one. That was good.
When he's talking to Freeman about it, he basically goes on about it for a little bit, like he's Mr. Stud Muffin to Freeman, and Freeman just sits there cutting his meat and eating. And so, I thought that was kind of, I don't know. I don't know what word to use for that. Kind of, he's is skeezy the right word? Kind of skeezy.
I guess I will just watch it. I don't know. Did he imply that he
implied that they bumped uglies.
They met.
Yeah, he implied that they bumped uglies.
Did he?
And that it was a couple of times.
Did he?
And
really?
Then that could be it for them. But he's such a stud muffin. He's going to stand up, walk right over to her when she's with another guy.
And she doesn't remember him.
And she immediately says, "Oh, sit down."
Yeah, it's okay that I got another dude here. He's nothing. He's
Yes.
but that guy must either be.
Want to know why? It's
the
because
guy.
you're coming over to the dark side, boss. You now realize that Paul Foster is a wanker.
All I can say is, if I'm that dude, I'm not happy. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's my girl. Yeah.
I mean, I'm here, dude. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it would be incredibly rude. Well, the first thing I would say, if it were a friend or if it were someone who I was not romantically involved with, I would gesture toward that person, and I definitely wouldn't invite anyone to sit down with us, regardless of what my relationship was to the person who I was sitting with. Because if I'm out to lunch or to dinner with that person, I'm out to lunch or to dinner with that person. I don't just start in inviting randos over to my table.
Yeah, I still like Paul Foster.
I know,
character, but he's a total a-hole. That was
Well, he gets the girl right. Wait, so no, wait. We got to take a vote here. We should have a
we don't know
chat.
that.
Did he get lucky the second time around, or did he strike out?
There was
no,
time,
he 100% got lucky with her the second time around as well.
The first time, there was no time. The first time, I don't see how there was any time.
Oh no. In the very well, because I got the benefit of the script in front of me. So
yeah.
So when they're talking in the restaurant, she said the Dialotex team stayed on for a couple more days.
I told you.
You and Jane must have got close.
Yes.
Why didn't you ask her? Yeah, so they stayed on for a few days in the station.
Yeah, but he took her memory away. Remember Linda?
No, but she doesn't remember that. But then he they get it on the space station.
They did it 4 times, Clobby. If you rewatch the episode and you have the dialogue in front of you, it's implied very strongly that
before they took her memory away. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
I got you.
And then so the guy then he goes, very funny. How does that old song go? Love's more beautiful the second time around.
Yeah.
Just
no,
as
it
wonderful.
goes horizontal bop.
With both feet on the ground.
I hear you now. I'm an idiot. But yeah, there you go. So it was the far-flung future of 1980 after all.
It was. Yeah. I absolutely loved how Harrington was sickened by Paul's sexy time phone calls and was like doing like the full eye roll.
Oh, it was great.
Harrington was just like, get a room.
Who?
Like I have that clipped in there.
Harrington? You mean Freeman?
No,
the Moonbase girl.
There's Barusa.
Harrington is the
the
guild girl who is the best at math.
Okay, good. Got you. Yeah.
Right.
She was hearing them. Yeah, she overheard. She could tell something was going on.
Yeah, she actually sends math to Sid. She doesn't receive math from Sid. She sends math to Sid. So she's like the super hyper crazy brain girl. And Paul puts the landline right in the CIC, and he does this phone call with her, and oh boy. And poor Harrington, she looks like her eyes are gonna roll right out of the back of her head. She's so disgusted by him.
Mad at him, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
she's he like, just where is Gay Ellis? Sorry. Anyways.
I think she was jealous.
Further on the slideshow.
Yeah. No, I think that she thought that it was inappropriate because she's a nerd girl, and so I think that she thought it was inappropriate that that Paul would be having sexy time phone calls. Right in the CIC, get a room.
Yeah, right in front of her. Yeah.
Paul probably thought she was jealous.
Yeah. But before we get to that, let's talk about the delicious effects. Can we just talk about the opening scenes where the moon disintegrates into the actual, like the moon base and all the beautiful things that are happening? Holy Kawasaki, this show has such great effects. Tell me this isn't like a delicious show to watch. What'd you think?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. Great effects at the beginning. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, right?
Always.
Jerry Anderson's fantastic.
Always on the show. Yeah.
I also really love the fact that Sid called out to the girls and was asking for Harrington's timing and attack data. He couldn't, and there she was with her like her little I don't know, for lack of a better word, I actually don't know what that is in physics.
Does she have a slide rule? Does she have a slide rule that she's using? Or
It's actually, I think
I can't remember.
it's 3 spheres. And it's a form of a calculator, but I don't know what it is. I have never studied physics at a university level. I don't know what that is. But if somebody in the chat knows what it is, I thought it was so cool because Harrington was standing there doing all of her calculations, and there's Sid calling out to her, and here, like, this is 1971 and Sid's calling out to her asking for the timing and attack data. I absolutely love it. And the fact that Harrington is always called upon to do these manual calculations. It's and Nina Barry does manual calculations in this episode as well. And of course, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but later she becomes the favorite of Straker. I feel weird about saying later, though, because I feel like my head is all screwed up because this is ITV 17.
Yeah, but see, the ITC is out of order. You're being a disordered person then by watching it that way. It wasn't supposed to be aired that way.
What did you guys think of that parting scene that felt very much like the Bionic Man or the Bionic Woman? What did you guys think of that, like the space smoochies scene at the end where like
the psychedelic scene where
the psychedelic dreams of smoochies.
She gets the amnesia drug and you're wondering, is she going to remember the good times, the really good times?
Is she going to remember the horizontal bops? They were bumping uglies.
That's what I think they were kind of
inferring,
inferring, like, maybe that might leak through. Or I wonder what that amnesia drug would. Maybe that's why they kept him on the station for a few more days, because maybe it would only erase like the last 48 hours, or so many days. Well, I guess it would have to go back. I guess you'd have to go back.
Like she gets her memory wiped. And all of a sudden, immaculate conception. Who are you with? I wasn't with anyone. Meanwhile, a little ugly Paul Foster comes out.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It's
because the drug is like, how much would it wipe? Like, I mean, because people they're up on this, moon mission.
They've known them for a few days. Yeah. So how much does it wipe out?
Yeah, because I mean, people would know about this. It wasn't a top secret mission, so it's you'd come back on Earth and you're like, well, how was the moon? You'd be like, I don't know, but I had a kind of a dreamy experience. Like, you couldn't wipe everything, right? You'd have to wipe just up to a certain.
And for her,
a certain point,
she's in a completely different space. People be like, so how was the moon? And she's like, I don't know, but I just keep hearing in my head, bow chicka wow
wow. Wow. Hey, CC Karaoke, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Hey,
Karaoke.
Good to see you.
Great to see
you. I don't remember anything except for bow chicka wow.
Star Trek.
BRB, meds, BRB.
Okay, go, boss, go.
Okay. In Star Trek, Bashir, he can take out specific memories. I think Crusher too. Didn't she have a couple instances where they took out specific memories? Versus this is just like they don't really explain it, but maybe it was more specific. But it's just a drug that they administer too. So
that's right.
It's not like they connect to the brain and do a detailed.
But they have psychiatrists and stuff like that there, where they could do advanced things to your brain. So for me, that's okay. Like for me, I realized that.
To talk about.
Yeah, it's for me. Like I actually love this show. Like
sorry, just interrupt. Here's the slides are showing her reaction to the pickup lines here.
It's a good one, Mark. Show it.
Yeah, well, it's right now. It's right. Yeah, it's right. So this is her. Yeah. So
watch your face.
They're talking about going to an Italian restaurant. Yeah. They're talking about fettuccine. I'm sure it was good. Hey, my Italian grandmother was not fat. Come on, she was just a little
fluffy?
chunky.
She was
fluffy. No, actually, she wasn't. Yeah, she was pretty skinny. Yeah, but yeah, how are we gonna eat linguine? Then she look at her face there. She's
like,
come on, we're working here. Yeah,
why is
when you watch the video. Yeah, and he kind of looks at her like, I'm the boss here. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And Harrington, meanwhile, is thinking, I cannot wait for Gay Ellis to get back. This guy is a loser.
I don't know. I can't say I blame them, but you're stuck up on the moon. Well, they're on a moon base, so right. That's pretty comfortable living up there. It looks like, yeah.
Simply Steve, when Harry met Mooney.
And why are they smoking up there on the moon base? Come on, that's the other
Don't you
thing
understand, Mark?
with
Everyone
oxygen.
smoked.
I know, God, I know everyone smoked in the '60s, but yeah, that just something on the moon, maybe in an oxygen-rich environment, maybe you wouldn't smoke. But that's one thing, Gene Roddenberry was so right in predicting, or yeah, you wouldn't have cigarettes in the future. So, but yeah, that's just
Roddenberry was
one
right
fun
about
thing.
everything: Apple Watch, iPads,
Yeah.
cellular phones, not
Yeah.
smoking anymore, not being a gigantic jerk face.
Yeah.
He was right about lots of things.
Yeah. So yeah, but just that's just everything else is just so spot on for the show. But that's just the one funny thing. Yeah, because if you didn't have smoking, people would be like, "Well, what's happening? Why are you not?" If you watch any shows from back then, it's cigarette after cigarette after cigarette.
Yeah, well,
so.
that's how everybody stayed skinny.
Maybe I should take up smoking.
No, that is not what you're going to do. Stop that right now.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Yeah.
I will tell on you.
Did you call Paul Foster a loser?
Me?
Yeah.
Clobby, how could you ever say something like that?
I could have sworn you did. Look, he's a lot of things. Maybe. But he ain't no loser. Look at the score of this episode. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be
Paul
honest.
Foster, 4, 5, or 6.
All balls
Other
and strikes,
astronauts, 0.
Yeah.
A lot of balls and strikes in this one too. So. Yeah, he did what you did good, Paul, in this one.
He did.
Way to go, dude. Sorry, he did.
Go, dude.
One dude to another. Way to go, dude. So yeah.
So this one, this episode for me is an A+. I absolutely love this show. I absolutely love everything about it. It's an incredibly cool show. It's just so much fun. And the fact that it mixes this feeling of James Bond with this beautiful, altruistic, Gene Roddenberry style of telling science fiction. It's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful and so much fun.
Dave has you figured out. He says, no way she said that. She has Foster's poster on the inside of her school locker.
Dave!
I'm Paul Foster. Paul
Simply
Foster.
Steve's like, come on. Foster's attitude is improving each episode.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, what are the ladies think in the chat? Is Foster a good-looking dude?
Yeah. Do we have any ladies here at all? I think we have one
I'm not
lady.
a lady, so.
Well, do you think he's a cutie patootie, Raquel, or no? He just doesn't do it.
That's
for
going to
you.
be a no for me. Like, but
That's a no,
you
right?
have to understand,
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
but you're
I'm
not
a
shallow
nerd
enough.
girl.
You're not shallow enough.
Yeah,
See,
I can't. I actually can't.
not. I'm
And
sorry, you're
Bobby's
not.
right. It's not like me, putting up a big front or a big show on YouTube. That's actually who I am. Like
We are shallow, however.
I find Elon Musk extremely attractive. The only thing I don't like about him is he has so much money. He has the poisonous level of money where you wouldn't want to go near him, because it that kind of money ruins your life. So if Elon Musk were middle class and still had all those dreams about making the world a better place and using his mind to make beautiful inventions to improve society and all those things, that's a hot guy to me.
No, so you're being way too shallow. Cut it out. Here we go. Six and Lisa are the ladies here. I don't know if any of the other ladies are here with us.
Yeah.
All right, this guy right here. We're talking about. I don't like. I think that chicken, like the chick in this episode, she could be the most nasty, horrible person in the world. She's hot. That's all we care about. So I'm just saying, ladies, is this guy would you consider the guy you're attracted to or not? Show him Paul.
Here we
Foster.
go. I got a good picture to show. So let me get back to here.
Does Paul Foster work for you?
Yeah, that's all we want to know. We don't
That's all we want to know.
Here we go.
This, important crap.
Does he do it for you?
Show the one. Yeah. Show. All right, ladies. Let us know. We're just curious. We're rating. Some toxic femininity here because we love the ladies on UFO. We thought we'd give the ladies a chance to look at the dudes. 6. I would too. Yeah. But is this guy somebody that would be, attractive to the ladies? That's all we want to know in this one.
Not enough brains for me.
Okay, 6 says
brains.
not.
That's good girl, 6.
I think 6
not enough
is
brains.
Not in the Paul Foster. Well, the sweaty picture was good, says Lisa.
Well, the sweaty picture was good.
The sweaty picture worked for Lisa.
CC, I'm with you. Let's get the ladies back on here. Let's go to the ladies of UFO. We've earned a chance to see the ladies of UFO in this one. You got one of those?
Sean Carter from Mars.
Hey, Sean Carter. There we go. The ladies of UFO.
Ooh, there's a Women of UFO documentary.
Oh my!
Yeah, haven't you watched that?
No, I haven't watched.
It's
amazing. Of course,
I keep
Raquel has
talking
watched
about,
it.
don't you listen to anything I say?
Of course, we listen all the time. But yeah.
Oh God, look at them. They're go hit that one with the 3 up. Oh, there. So, see her? She can be the nastiest, most horrible human being in the world, and look at her. Who cares? Look how good she looks.
She's one of the most beautiful women to ever be on television,
I
and
agree.
yet her son looks like the fish from The Simpsons.
Here we go. Trashing poor old Benedict because
Yeah.
talk that way about Dr. Strange, Sherlock.
Yeah, didn't we
Dr.
have a picture
Sherlock
of
Strange?
Didn't we have a picture someone had sent a while ago with him as the goldfish?
Yep.
Like, that was maybe like a year ago, but
Well, 6, I understand that in real life you don't care what he looks like, about how he treats people. We're just talking about right now. We were just talking superficial. What you
No,
think
I
is
think
good
she's
looking or
trying
not.
to
Toxic,
say that
yeah.
she's like me, that she would
No, I
rather
understand
have
that.
a brain.
But you still, if you see someone walking down the street, and the point is, are they attractive physically or not?
Well,
I'm not
I do
talking
know
about
that Dave is
getting
looking
married.
at your current examples, and his response was,
Woo!
boing.
Yeah, that's a boinger. Look at that. Oh my goodness, she's a boinger. See, woo, there's gay. She's fantastic. How come you can be superficial when we talk about the chicks, but you won't do it about the dudes?
Who, me?
You, yeah, you.
Because when I admire women, I think of women almost like a work of art, and I just think,
yeah,
she's beautiful, and I just look at her at her, and I just feel like you should always say something nice, and yeah. Anyway, there are a lot of really beautiful women on TV, and I think women are too hard on themselves. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was raised around a lot of guys. Guys are very forgiving to women, and guys are like really loving and kind to women, and women are horrible to one another, and that's just not who I am. I think women are beautiful, and it's okay to admit that other women are beautiful, and you should. It feels good, and it's true.
6 says, I can't get past the superficial. My brain and libido don't work like that. Well, you're definitely not a dude then. Yeah, you're not a dude. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, see, look at this. Who put this up? Mark?
Who did this? This is terrible.
Mark, you're
someone
wonderful.
Did this. Someone sent this to us.
Yeah.
When we were talking.
Really?
I think because you kept calling him the goldfish. So
yeah.
I can't remember who
he
did
looks
it.
Like. Yep. Yeah, he looks like a goldfish.
I don't think
like
he's
a
that bad of a
googly-eyed
look-
goldfish?
I don't think he's that bad looking.
Let's finish rating the episode before we.
Yeah. Anyways, and where guys are concerned, Captain, I don't know. Like I just like brains.
I like that we're different. I mean,
I like brains, but I also I do have some guys that have been on TV that I think are handsome fellas that I'd go on a date with. I might square dance with them. I might have a drink with them. I really love the fictional character named Rip of Yellowstone.
Okay.
That was
the question. That was the basic question. Like, who's good looking and who's not?
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway looking for adventure. It's got to be Rip from Yellowstone.
That's all we were talking about.
Tall glass of water. What a cowboy! What a cowboy!
That's all we were talking about. And I was wondering if for most of the ladies who were fans of UFO, if Paul Foster was their kind of guy. I just wondering because I don't know.
Show a picture of Rip. Show a picture of Rip from Yellowstone.
No. Let's go back to rating this episode. We don't want to see Rip.
Show a picture of Rip from Yellowstone.
Why?
Look at this filler.
He's
Well, Clobbering
gonna-
times outranks you, but
No,
I guess so.
I don't want to
Here's
see
Rip.
this dude.
Now that works for me. You see that?
Get it off of there right now. That's murder.
Wow. Now I'm superficial.
No thanks. Well, in that case, I take it back. We got her to be superficial. That's all I was looking for.
There you go. See, look at that smile.
Let's see. Lisa says, "Do I get an A for following the voting guidelines, Clubby?" Yes, Lisa. At least you knew where I was coming from, and I don't want. I'm sorry. I took you out by accident.
So good.
That's okay. No.
No, I didn't,
Can I get it? Can I take it down now, Raquel?
Please.
Well, I don't know.
It's gotta be gone. I can't take
All right, take it down. Take it down. That guy's hot. Even though he's a completely fictional character and doesn't exist. Cutie patootie.
Yeah.
Andy's a tough SOB too. Don't want to mess
He
with
is.
him. Yeah.
Yep,
You got trouble. You got to send Rip.
that's right.
So I would have rated an A, the Dalatech affair.
Okay.
And Marky?
Oh, I definitely give it an A. Yeah, love all the science, love all the gadgets, love the landline, love Paul getting it on, rocking the geologist. So you had
I still
everything
think he
in
was
this
a dick
episode.
what he did the last episode. The last
He
part of the
did, but that
episode.
was, I mean, he had that cute lady, and he wanted to use his foreknowledge, right? You know, if you had a bad first,
another dude, and he told her,
Well,
"I know
they-
what your occupation is." How creepy was that?
that was kind of yeah. But I guess if the other dude shouldn't have been there. I guess that was not a good play, unless it was like her brother she was having dinner with or something.
It doesn't
But-
matter. It's
You can
still
say so.
rude because Paul
Yeah.
Foster is a wanker. And Matthew Pounder just showed up. He said, "Good morning,
Hey, Matthew
Raquel.
Pounder.
Good morning, Clobby, and good morning, Mark."
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to
Hey,
see you. See,
sweetheart.
if that's her brother, then she could say, "Hey, join us." But no, he
Yeah.
said, "May I join you?" With another dude sitting there.
Yeah,
you just
and
don't
she
do
should
that.
have
There's
at least
There's
said, you
bro
know,
code for that. Yeah.
yeah, you say like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I'm
bro
just
code,
having
exactly.
breakfast with my brother, but I'll take your number." Or, "Would you mind if this gentleman joins us?" Just very bad manners,
Yeah.
and that's because Paul Foster is a wanker. He has bad manners, and he's a wanker.
Well, he was
Wanka
thinking with
full
something else.
stanka.
But no, what I did
I
like
don't even know
about
what
it though
that means. HP just said it.
what I did like was that they had they had the romance in there, but it didn't take over the episode. So we only got a little bit of kissing for a few seconds. Skip the kissing part, like in The Princess Bride, which Raquel has still not seen. But we're gonna get to the good part yet. But yeah, they kind of infer that, so it was kind of a fun episode. And most guys kind of, I'm gonna say, look up to that, in terms of having some success with the ladies, we'll say. But then the science and the drama, and of course we also have to mention too, tragically, we didn't even mention it, but because of the communications being jammed, they lost, some astronauts lost their life.
Yeah.
And so there's a real serious aspect to this
Element to
episode
it,
too. We're
yeah.
having a lot of fun with it, but they could have gone in, they would have wiped out the moon base, and then we could have lost the war right then and there with
Yeah.
this jamming device. So it was a good plan by the aliens, and thankfully we're able to foil it. And that was a great reveal too. I love that reveal, like your installation in the crater, and I thought that Foster should have gone along with it and said, "Oh, okay, we're going to come and check it out," because then that tipped them off that there were aliens there in the base. Or what they should have done is maybe move the device, unless they assumed it was booby trap. I guess they also didn't have time too. It was such a tight schedule with the aliens on their way. But
Well, and
maybe they
they
could have picked
were
it up
also
and
going to
moved it.
detonate it, and they were in the charge radius.
Yeah, so I thought maybe if they could have picked the moon buggy, could have picked it up and then moved it, somewhere further away, so it didn't damage the station. But that, if you don't do that, then then the plot doesn't work then either. But and the UFO was just about to attack the moon base too. But it was a lot of tension and drama, and it was all around a great, really enjoyable episode. So I really liked it.
Yep, it's good. It's an A++. Weenie weenie.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep.
All right.
There you
Are we
go.
done?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So what else do we have to talk about? Boss.
Yes,
At the
ma'am.
top of the show,
Mhm.
during the unfurling of all of this week's information, you
Mhm.
were discussing a comic book that you were going to be talking about with one of my favorite guys, Nick Weiser. And you
Oh
were
yeah.
saying that you would be generous and kind and show us what that comic book looks like.
Okay. Yeah, good point. Let me see if I can pull up something on that Jim Starlin's Warlock run. Um, there's a character. There's a character actually that is a fairly popular. He's a very popular Marvel character who started out in the early '70s, but called Adam Warlock. Actually, started in the '60s. Originally, Kirby created him, of course. Um, and there's a movie. We all talk about the MCU a lot lately. Of course, the MCU is pretty terrible right now. However, there's one of the few much of the still anticipated movies of the MCU coming up called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is coming out next month. And they're supposedly introducing their MCU/MCU version of the character, which I dread. Nevertheless, that it ties in with that. That's coming out. So he has a classic run by one of the great comics artists and writers of the '70s, Jim Starlin. He took over the book a few years after the character first originally turned up in comics, and his run is again. It's critically acclaimed, one of the most critically acclaimed runs of the '70s. Adam Warlock. There you go. Well, Adam Warlock, one of my top 10, says Hungry Boy. Yes. And we're going to review that run for the next 3 weeks on the Comic Shop Show. Hey there,
Oh,
Dad Man Walking.
Hey,
Hey,
Dad Man.
Deadman Clan. Hello, family.
The Friday Night Comic Show on our good buddy Nick Weiser's channel. The Friday Night Comic Shop gang, we're going to review that run. And just see if we can look at it. He's just a great artist. Jim Starlin was a great artist. And we'll look a little bit of it now. So he is, of course, in the Marvel universe, but he is from Earth, but ended up on Counter Earth for a while, and he ends up basically, well, he kind of ties in with a lot of the stuff later that was done with Thanos and stuff like that in the Marvel universe. For those who don't know, so I guess we could just look at some art from it.
And I have his first appearance in is it Thor?
No, it was Fantastic Four 160.
Oh, once okay.
5 and
So Nick likes this one.
Yeah.
Thor was after. Nick has recently bought the trade paperback of the hardcover that compiles all of these, which was this year. And yes, he's read this hardcover recently, the Jim Starlin Warlock run, and about a year ago he ended up picking it up.
Nice.
And loved it. He loved it. He said so. He wanted us to. About a year ago, we decided at some point we would review it, and we figured, leading up to his appearance into the pop culture, as bad as that's probably going to be, should be interesting.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Mark?
I was going to say in his first appearance, he's called him. He's called him for a while.
He was called him in the Fantastic Four appearance, and which I just went back and read the other day, and the Thor appearance after that by Kirby. Both of them are Kirby classics. And he was again, and about good 4, 5, 6 years later, whatever it was after that, he Marvel brought him back in Marvel Premiere or something like that, and he was Roy Thomas and Gil Kane did a couple of issues. Then he had his own series called The Power of Warlock for about 8, 9 issues, and he ended up in Strange Tales for a while when Starlin revived him and eventually got his own title back for a short time. And of course, he's been around later a lot. He was a big part of the Infinity Gauntlet, which we reviewed on Nick's show a couple of months back.
Yeah. And
Adam Warlock is he's pretty, again, he's not mainstream household name like a Spider-Man or anything like that, but he's a pretty popular Marvel character for this,
Very cool.
Yeah, but mostly just comic geeks. No one knows who he is yet.
Very cool.
In this movie, the way he looks, oh my God.
He doesn't look good in the movie.
So who's going to be on this panel? It's going to be our Nick and you. And
Ironcaster, probably.
Ironcaster, Pablo, Fenrir might be there. A good buddy, the Common Nerd. Let's see who else. I don't know. We might have someone else on there. I'm not sure exactly who's going to be on there. Maybe somebody else might join us as well. Yeah. So
Well, I know
He's
Nick
created-
loves talking about comics with you, so that's going to be so much fun for him.
Yeah. It's some beautiful art. I mean, the art alone is just this. I've used the back cover to the back of the hardcover. I've actually, because of this, I've decided to do a deep dive, and I went before this. We're going to be reviewing this series, but I went back before it. I went to the Fantastic Four, and we can show that in a minute. Unless you got pictures of it, Mark. I don't know if you,
no, if you, I don't have them ready, but if you,
no problem,
you,
no problem.
you want,
I was feeling,
and then I went to
I
the
was,
store.
I was feeding you some questions there, boss, and I actually derailed you from a thought. And HB would like to go back to that thought, if you wouldn't mind, please. Yeah, you were. I think you were all about to start commiserating over the poor quality of the film.
Okay. Before that, we'll say hello to Home Polyme's Minion and the Pepperoni.
Hey, the pepperoni, the pepperoni.
Bop, 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 bop.
Oh, and you got a gift from Sean Carter from Mars.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. You're too kind, my friend. He says, just want to say thank you for turning me on to UFO. Wow. Thank Raquel. I never knew of this gem before. Absolutely gripping. I shed tears in A Question of Priorities. Oh, good God. That was a rough one. We're going to have some trouble. The story and the performances were fantastic. That's going to be a brutal one there. Brutal stuff.
Yep.
But I hope you're doing well, Apollo, and thank you, Sean Carter. You're too kind, buddy.
Yep. Wonderful.
Yeah. What was it about the movies? Basically talking about the casting. Oh Lord.
Oh, really bad casting, and that's very important in these superhero films.
Yeah.
So what happened, Dish?
Yeah. I just the pictures I've seen for like just a second. I think they got a shot of him in the trailer. I can't really remember who's playing him. Do you remember who's playing him now, Mark? Whoever it is.
I can't remember. Yeah, we could maybe if you goggle it, you could show the cast, I guess. But,
yeah, I guess I could try to find it. I mean, someone knows. It should have been. By the way, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, interestingly enough, Raquel, they showed a character that they thought they were gonna base him on, played by Ben Browder, who has an appearance in that movie.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been wonderful. That would have been absolutely wonderful. Hey guys, can I just stop the for a second here, just to say that Apollo, who likes to keep her hand close to her chest, she says that she's having a bad day.
Oh,
that's not good.
I'm so sorry, dear.
Yeah, honey. I know you're a private person like I am, so you don't just go around telling people when you're feeling down. So the fact that you're saying that you're feeling down, I realize that that's really important to you, and we all love you very much, and we're all sending you a hug. We all have bad days. I know that probably doesn't make you feel any better, but just shooting the breeze and letting you know that we're thinking of you and that we're all here for you, and we're all sending you a very warm hug.
Yeah, so sorry, Apollo. I hope it gets better, my dear. So sorry. I hit it. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Oh,
Apollo. This is tough to. There's not much anyone can say, but everyone who knows you would not do anything like that on purpose.
Oh my God, she's crying.
It happens. I know it happens to all of it. It could happen to any of us. It could happen to anyone. You drive a lot. I'm so sorry. But the fact that you're still feeling like this, everyone knows that it's something that you did, that you couldn't have avoided.
Oh my God.
It doesn't make you feel any better. I understand that. That's horrible, but
anybody who's known you for 15 minutes knows that you would probably even get yourself killed trying to avoid hitting a dog. You didn't do this on purpose, sweetheart.
No,
it's something that happened to you. It's not something that this happened to you, honey.
Right.
You have to realize that.
Unfortunately, things like that. It's happened to me many years ago. I think what happened to me once, and you're definitely. It's not easy to. Hearing this is not going to do much, but just. Big hugs to you, and
wow.
Hey, my dear, I wish I could just give you a big hug right now and put my arms around you and tell you that you're going to be okay. And you're always going to feel bad about it because it's the kind of person you are. You love doggies. You just go pick up your little doggy and just hold them and,
Yep.
hold that doggy.
Yeah,
Because,
give Simi lots of kisses, and we know who you are, and we know what you're all about, and sometimes you think you're in control of these situations and you're not. These kinds of things, they happen to you. They happen to you whether you're in your car or you're in your rig, and oh my goodness, I don't even know what to say to you right now, because this is going to linger. You're going to think about it for a little while, and it's going to be difficult, but you didn't do anything wrong, and I'm so sorry this happened to you, my dear friend.
I'm very sorry. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, honey.
That's why you feel so bad too, because you wish you could have done something,
Yeah.
but you can't. So you just
Yeah.
gotta dwell on that there's nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
But it's understandable that you'd feel that bad.
Yep.
I remember I unfortunately hit a dog once too,
Oh,
and it was
gosh.
just horrible. And I had stopped, and then I'm like, "Where's the dog? Where's the dog?" It was like in a small neighborhood, and I'm like, I think the dog ran back, and I was going like super slow, but the dog was okay. But then, it ran under the wheel, ran into the car again.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something. I'm like, I thought the dog had, left or had gone, gone away. So,
Oh, it's crazy.
yeah, it's very, very sad. Yeah.
So sorry, dear.
You're not going to shake that memory for a while, and yeah, very, very, very sad, honey.
Right. Just put it into perspective for yourself. Hug your doggy, and know that it's something that just happens, and it can,
you could do.
It's happened to many of us.
Maybe you could do some type of small gesture to try and give yourself some closure. Like maybe you could make a small donation to a local SPCA. There's also that marvelous DeForest Kelly. What's that one called again, Mark? North Shore Dogs.
North Shore Animal League, I believe, was
North Shore Animal League. That's
think that was
DeForest
his
Kelly, and so you could do that, and that might help you to have some closure. But yeah, I feel bad, baby. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So sorry, my dear. Well, it's tough to get back on track for something like that, but we're so we can try to hopefully cheer everybody up and cheer. I know we can't really cheer you up right in the Apollo, but
No,
we're just gonna try anyway. So,
but we all agree with Sean Carter
here
when
for
he
you.
says we're all here for you, and we certainly are.
Yeah.
So even if you just want to hang out and say nothing at all, that's okay with us too, because you are among all of your friends, and we all feel terrible for you.
Yeah. Well, with
Very
regards,
sorry. Yep.
we may as well. This is not an upper. This is more of a downer by looking at what we're going to look at next. If you're a fan of Warlock, this is a downer. I guess
Why?
we can show what he's going to look like in the movie.
Found
okay,
it. Yep.
let's see it. Let's see it, boss.
Oh boy.
Well, it's
This
tough
is
to
what
do
HB
too,
was
I
talking
guess.
about, right?
Mhm.
This
Guardians
is what
of the
HB
Galaxy.
was talking about.
Yeah, and again, let's see what. She says I'm donating to a place called Cat House on the Kings here in California. Oh, good.
That's great.
That's great, dear.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is, and again, look, I'm not throwing shade at the actor. The guy was cast. It's just the casting itself is stupid. For me, anyway. Here you go. Look. What the hell? Here we go. Wow. Jeez. Look at this. Really?
What
Really?
in the AG double
Oh, I know
hockey
that
sticks
guy.
is this?
Will Poulter or whatever. Look, he's a kid. Look, they got him next to a dumb picture of Warlock, but
What?
what in the hell? Look at that
Is this the
ridiculous
kid from the
costume.
Mikey Likes It commercial?
No. Well,
No. Mark can tell you this from experience. It's not
no.
him.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey.
He just doesn't have. He doesn't have the look for Warlock. Warlock's got to look
No.
more
It's a kid.
majestic, a little more lines in his face, a little bit older, just almost like James Bond in space. If I don't know how to describe Warlock's look, but
God only knows what his story is going to be screwed into. How they're going to screw with his story.
Yeah, why'd they pick someone so young looking? I mean,
Too young.
I know.
He looks way too young looking.
The
He's
Warlock
an
guy's
idiot.
the picture from the top, that definitely doesn't look like him. The picture at the top, it looks like
Oh,
almost as if that guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Spike guy, if he grew
Angel
all
or
of his
Sp- oh,
hair out,
Spike.
Spike. Yeah.
Spike, like you know what I mean, like with the thin Roman nose and the
Yeah.
and older and you know, very high cheekbones, and this kid doesn't look anything like Warlock. And worst of all, he looks like, hey Mikey, he likes it.
They used to be. I mean, they were still the MCU before they became the MCU. Flat Out Neurotica came out then. They used to be halfway decent at casting, and now for the past few years they've been absolutely dog shit at casting. I mean, total garbage. Cases in point, in case you wonder. I'm not a big fan of Carol Danvers anyway, but Brie Larson would be the first, like, the really seriously questionably casting, probably, if you care about that character anyway, which I don't, but still. Let's see here.
I thought she was gonna be great at first when I heard her name. I was like, oh, she's gonna be.
Did you guys see this comment?
This
is a very nice comment. HB, that is exactly the visualization I just had. HB says a 25-year-old Rutger Hauer would have been the right way to go, Raquel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, with those cheekbones, HB.
Just don't hitchhike with
in the 80s.
Just don't hitchhike with him.
Yeah.
Oh, hitchhiker. That would have taken, of course, he was 25 in what, the 70s or 80s. So, I mean, yeah, but I hear you. Sean Carter said, okay, sorry. Yeah, William Poulter was in the Chronicles of Narnia, Voyage of the Dawn Trader. Okay. Hello, Oliver Belamonte. Good to see you. So, point being is this is just another rotten casting. And again, it's James Gunn's fault this time. Of course, he's an
the looks. We'll have to, I mean, so
You
far
know,
the
James
looks.
Gunn, is that the nincompoop that didn't want the what's his name?
Hmm?
The guy who was playing Superman.
Well, yeah, he took over the DC universe.
He took over the DC universe. He's getting kind of blamed for not wanting Henry Cavill to play Superman. I
That's
think he
the
is
name,
kind of
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's an
the girls just swoon over Henry Cavill. They love that guy.
They should have cast him again and should have given him a shot to play Superman for the first time.
So that's the same nincompoop who hired this guy is the guy who told Superman that he was out of a job.
I don't think he's the guy that had a lot to do with it. I think there were a lot of ups. I don't think that was his ultimate decision, but he's getting blamed for it. Let's put it like that.
So how does it work in Hollywood now? Because, remember when Christian Slater's mom was a casting person, and it sort of seems like now, like the director can choose who is going to take that starring role, or it's almost as if the corporation decides the biggest star or the best way to deliver their corporate product.
Not with these corporate movies. No, that's usually coming down from somewhere else, I think. But not now it is. There was a time, but now with something like this, and they just decided they wanted to go somewhere different and get rid of anything to do with the Snyder drivel. I understand that, but still, I think you could have made an exception for Cavill because he was never got a chance to play Superman proper, and he wanted to, and he could have done it. I mean, they thought he was getting old. I don't know how much Gunn had to do with that. I do know that Gunn cast this one, and it's stupid. I know he's an idiot for this because this is, why even bother having Warlock in this movie if you're going to do that? Idiot, moron, jackass. It sucks.
Well, Dave is saying, what about Mads Mikkelsen? Is he too old at this point?
He's probably too old, Mads, I think, yeah.
It's just where are the cheekbones? Like,
of course, he's playing Thrawn.
Where are the cheekbones? I'm not even a geek, and I know precious little about comics. And even I'm looking at this kid and thinking, this boy looks like he should be in some sort of Disney like children's show where he plays like the older brother who kicks the backpack of his younger brother. He doesn't look like this Warlock creature. This Warlock creature looks like something completely different.
That's right. He does not look like this at all.
Plus the makeup is not going to help either. It's a very difficult character to pull off with the makeup and the gold face and the color too. So you got to pick someone who really is going to be able to pull that off with their look and their bone structure. And because when you look at that picture of him with the gold, I guess it's not CGI. They probably just put in gold makeup on him. So that makes it a lot tougher to do. But they pulled it off of Zoe Saldana, with her character being green, and they've done some good makeup work, but this makeup is not looking good. And
The
who's
guy
the other
does not
character?
look anything like the Warlock character. He looks like an older brother, the older brother we never met in the Goonies, who used to beat up his little
Oh,
brother.
Goonies. Yeah, you're right. That's a good way.
Like,
Maybe
he's like, you
Goonies
know what I mean? He
character,
looks like Chunk's older brother or something. It's this is not a good casting.
Sucks down. I agree with classic comics. Is a very good point. It says using Warlock is kind of pointless. What Thanos did. Yes, using it'll be. This is not going to be. It'll be like a lot of things with what Gunn does. It'll be in name only. So it's not like they're setting this up for a bunch of Warlock movies or any of that kind of stuff anyway. But fans of the character would kind of like, it would be kind of cool to see them. But it's not going to have the same origin. Although I hear the High Evolutionary is in this, which is interesting.
Oh, he is? Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
So they might be slightly.
He's been swapped too, if I remember correctly.
Although High Evolutionary is not really in his origin either. He's in the origin of when he became Warlock, but not when he was him, as they were called. So I don't know. It's kind of meaningless, but it is big. It's.
What does Nick think about all this?
Oh, I know. He doesn't like it either because he's a fan of the comic.
He's gonna freak out.
He's seen him. He's seen this. I'm sure we've kind of been prepared for this for a while. They've wasted their opportunity like they have everything else because the MCU's Garbaggio. But we'll have fun reviewing the real good stuff, as we always do. The Jim Starlin run on Warlock is again one of the most critically acclaimed Marvel comics of the 70s. So it'll be fun.
Sure,
beautiful art. Look at me, the art's just incredible.
Who's in charge of? That's Clobby. Clobby, you have the screen up, right, with the Goog?
Yes.
Would you please just maybe like left click on some of those to make them a little bit, like to put them in the pane so that I can see them a bit bigger? I just want to see some different versions of Warlock, if you wouldn't mind.
Which one to see?
I'd like to see the one down in the far left-hand corner with the yellow, and he's in a red outfit and his legs are bare. I'd like to see that. Well, that Homecoming, that definitely shows that bone structure.
This one here or this one?
Oh, the bottom left, you mean?
Yeah,
Raquel?
that bottom left is good. I'd like to see that one.
That one? This was, of course, that's a hardcover, but the reprints when he first came back. This is his first appearance as Warlock. His first two appearances were multi-parters. Well, it was Kirby. It was in a couple of Kirby issues of the Fantastic Four as a character called him. He was barely in that first two-parter. Then he was in Thor, and Thor beat the living crap out of him. And then he was found out in space by the High Evolutionary and, brought out of his cocoon again. And he became, by the way, Thor and Hulk. I just read this comic. Thor and Hulk are not that issue. But anyway.
So let's look at a couple more.
Okay.
I just want to see his face up close a little bit. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, and then there's that one. Mark showed that one.
Let's see.
I see what you guys are saying.
Man, he's a majestic type of a character. He has a fascinating story.
Oh, look at that.
Which
yeah.
one?
Yep.
Which one? Oh, that one?
I see what you're saying.
I love this.
It's funny as an outsider when you guys complain about this stuff because you guys are like people who read books. Like when people who read books and then they see a film and they're like, that sucked. It's not anything like the book.
The Martians movie sucked.
And then when you meet like true blue comic book fans who are very familiar with the original source material, and then a corporation tries to do like a corporate superhero movie with their original source material and they fail, it's like I don't know, people in popular culture don't even realize that there's original source material. But one thing about hanging around with you guys that I realize is there's a reason why you guys get cheesed off, because you know these characters very well. You've purchased all of their comics, you've read them all, you know what the character looks like, and then the corporation just decides it's going to introduce it into popular culture as though it has no original source material. So it's just interesting to me because look at the Jim Starlin signed Adam Warlock color that Clobby just put up there. And look at this. And then look at that boy,
Starlin was
Chunk's older brother. Like, really bad.
And I should
This-
clarify, I did like the Martian movie. Wasn't, I shouldn't say it sucked. I was joking, but it was not nearly as good as the book. Because whenever you read the book, the movie most of the time it just can't translate all the inner workings of the characters, their inner dialogue, and
Yeah.
it just can't go into as much detail. They left out a lot of missions, so I was joking. It was a good movie, but I started reading that book I think at 8 at night, and then I read it the whole night. It was so gripping that I could not go to sleep, and I just kept reading the book. I stayed up the whole night reading the book. I couldn't put it down. It was that good. So and then when you have it. No, go ahead. Yep.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you have that great experience with a book or like a comic like that you love, and you got to read the next chapter, you just can't put it down. It just takes you to another world, another place, and you just fall in love with it. So and the art, in this book is fantastic, and Starlin really made a name for himself in terms of the cosmic. I guess you call it cosmic Marvel, or how would you describe it? But
I'd say
outer space.
I'd say so. Yeah, his Warlock and his Captain Marvel, the Marvel stuff, and later his his Silver Surfer. Yeah. He was then Dreadstar he did for another company, Classic Comics. Yeah, we'll talk about Dreadstar one of these days. I love Dreadstar. It was a great run.
Yep.
That was not
Our Reacher guy could have been this guy.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah,
Reacher
that's
guy
true.
that I like, that I think is handsome, even though like I would typically call that kind of a guy a meathead. But when I watched that Reacher show, I think that Reacher guy would have been a great fit for this role because of his size. Like Warlock is big. He could definitely beat you in rugby. I just think that maybe realistically, if you weren't going to do any CGI, if you can't do Henry Cavill, and you're looking for that look, our Reacher guy. What's our Reacher guy's name again?
Oh, I'm forgetting his name. He was also in Titans as Hawk and Dove.
I can't remember his name.
And his name.
I don't know. Usually I find guys
I'm
like that, like
goggling
total meatheads, but I found him to be very charming, and I enjoyed that Reacher show, even though my husband made me watch it.
I love that show. Okay, with
Yeah.
Alan Richson.
I like him. I think he's a cute boy, and I think he would have been great for this role. Like, look at that Warlock. Now go type in that guy's name and show what that guy looks like. That guy would be great for this role. I don't know why they picked Chunk's older brother, but it's not good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to give him some famous Amos cookies and tell him to go home and take his makeup off.
But Hungry Boy, I did show a couple of Gil Kane Warlocks there. We'll look at some other ones there. Not a slap one though.
No, they are going to do a second season of
There's
Reacher.
another Starlin one there. They're doing. Isn't it coming out soon? Aren't they doing the second season?
They started season 2 had officially begun.
Yeah.
They said in March 7th. Yep.
Show
We're
the
officially
Reacher guy.
Who?
Show the Reacher guy.
He's a little bit buff for. I don't know if he's a little bit too much buff for Warlock or not. But let's see.
Well, but look at
Alan
Warlock's legs.
Richson. Yep. Here's how you spell his name.
Warlock's legs are incredible. Like he's like, you want to talk about like fit, and obviously the artists who have rendered Warlock have definitely studied
you play Warlock, I guess.
how to make human muscles look.
Hey, Raquel's buying a ticket for the movie if he's in it.
Actually, you know what? If they put that Reacher guy in the movie, I would go see it.
See? Or if Rip was in it, you'd go see it. What about
if Rip was in it? Oh my gosh!
Adam Warlock.
I'm going to that.
Yep. I mean, this guy could play Warlock, no question about it.
And see his cheeks. Look at his.
Yeah, I'm looking at his cheeks there. Yeah.
Yeah, like he has the bone structure, and look at his beautiful legs and stuff, and just the way his body is. He looks more like the drawing.
He does look more like the character, no question.
He does. You have to have Warlock requires a very chiseled looking face with really high cheekbones.
I think the ladies want you to put that back up again, Club.
There are not enough ladies here for that. They've seen her. They've seen him. Yeah. Google him. I want to see comic books.
Yeah.
Unless it's chicks, of course. You know.
Well, he's got he has a nice chest as well, but you don't really see it in a lot of the depictions because he's wearing a cape. But you're looking at a very look at that. See, that shows
Well, the
way more of
physique's
the character
coming
than
through,
I've seen
yeah.
before.
That guy would look. He would be way better. Yeah, no question.
Yeah,
about it.
like what's with Chunk? Like Chunk's older brother, Super Chunk. That's what he is. He's Super Chunk.
Super chunk.
I don't even know who Chunk is, but I got you.
Oh, can you show the boss what Chunk looks like, Mark?
Oh God, no.
Well, I'll find it.
Mark could find
You
it.
can keep the.
We can
I'll
do
find it. Yeah.
But
I would look at
seriously,
Jim
I look
Starlin
at
art.
Reacher, and I think realistically, we don't have to do anything to this fella. This fella is beautiful. He's big, and he has the sort of I don't know, Viking look to him.
Lisa doesn't like that all those muscles.
Yeah, I don't
Many
like them
muscles?
either, honey. They also totally turned me off. I like dad bod. I'm not into muscles either, but you got to watch that Reacher show because that
Reacher's
guy's
a
a
good show,
decent
though, yeah.
actor. He's not
Now-
he's not a
There we
meathead.
go.
Yeah, see,
There's
it's
Chunk.
Chunk's
He's a
older brother.
Normal guy, average American. Yeah, no six pack. Come on.
Yeah, and now show them
How
what that
cute,
kid
yeah.
looks. Show them what that kid looks like. The kid that they just cast.
Yeah, I've seen this kid. I know he.
Yeah. What's his name? What's the new guy's
William
name?
What's the new
Poulter or
guy's
whatever?
name? Let's put them side by
Williams.
side.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Warlock in the same.
Yeah, let's put
Yeah.
them side by side. Show everybody what I'm talking about. I'm telling
Let me
you,
get
seriously.
it.
Chunk's older brother.
getting
It's
him,
his
getting him,
Halloween
yeah.
costume. He needs to be kicked in the butt, sent home to remove the makeup off of his face, and we need to get
Yikes.
Reacher in here,
Here we go.
right?
All right.
Watch,
So let's see.
you'll see. Look at this kid.
Well, here. Let me do this. Let's do this. Let's see.
That's Chunk's older brother.
We'll do side by side here. Yeah.
Yeah, but show what he looks like in real life. There, look at that white picture right there.
Well, let's get that one up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, get that one up right there.
Chunk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, hold on. Oh, let me.
let's look.
So I can slide.
Oh, my
I hit the wrong
God.
button.
Wow.
Oh,
There we
yeah,
go.
see, there you go. Okay, so that's Chunk's older brother, and he's like, "Look, you're not supposed to wear my Hawaiian shirts to school, you little shit." Okay, that's what's going on
Hey,
here.
He does look like Chris Gore. Now that you mentioned, like
I'm
Chris
telling
Gore's
you.
younger brother.
I'm telling you.
Oh, it
that's a
could
good
be
point.
Chris. Gore.
Yeah, he looks like Chris
And we
Gore.
like
That's
Chris Gore,
Super
yeah.
Chunk. That's what we're gonna call him from now on.
I like
He's
Chris
Super
Gore.
Chunk.
Super chunk. Yeah.
He's not Warlock. He's Super
Chunk.
Chunk.
Well,
Yeah.
he
Why don't I
probably
show all
did
these
the
modern
movie
day
like
horrible
5 minutes.
warlock?
Look at the little nose. Even the nose is the same.
What a crappy
yeah.
casting.
Indie Comics.
Indie
Welcome.
Comics. Hey there. Just got reading Phantom Road issue. Just got done reading Phantom Road issue. One pretty good. What is Phantom Road issue number 1? Is that the name of it? Or
A reading
that?
Phantom Road issue 1. I'm not sure what
I'm
that
saying.
book
I don't know
is.
what that
yet.
is, Indie Key, but thank you for being here.
Thank you for reading comics.
I mean, look, it's a crappy casting anyway, but he's probably going to be in there for 5 minutes. You know, it's just annoying. But like I was saying earlier, the MCU, their casting has started to suck right after Brie Larson. Look at all these castings they got. They've horribly miscast Shang-Chi. Horribly, but even worse cast. Let's see who else after that. All the Eternals were horribly cast. The Namor, of course. Namor was horribly cast. Some are atrocious. Not so much because that guy's a bad actor, because he's just not right for Namor. They ruined that. Everything they touch now turns to crap. So Adam Warlock is just the latest shitey casting. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Doesn't
It doesn't
matter.
make any sense to me when you have all these handsome fellas in Hollywood who are killing themselves to look like these superheroes. Like they look like superheroes in real life. You know, they're killing themselves. And I'm not naming anybody specifically or implying anything about anyone, but let's face it, a lot of these guys are using anabolic steroids and other things to look like this. Many of them lose their hair. They have eating disorders. They have to eat a very specific amount of food and exercise a very specific amount. Many of them have erectile dysfunction and things like that, and hair loss. It's a very serious thing. These guys are killing themselves to look like to look like these heroes, and you know, and they could be doing these films. I'm not endorsing what they're doing or anything, but I just don't understand why somebody went out and found Chunk's older brother to play that role when there are actual comic book fans out there who would follow a storyline through Warlock if it were somebody like that Reacher guy. Like, I'll show up, I'll watch that, but I'm not going to go watch Chunk Senior, you know, walking around making sure that his fake thing on his head doesn't fall off. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like a joke.
Wait till they cast the Fantastic Four movie.
It's not his own. Yeah, that's gonna be worse. That's gonna be worse. It's not like he's a big thing of the movie anyway. It's a Guardians movie, but still, it's terrible. It's not like we're ever. It's certainly never going to get a Warlock movie anyway. Indie Key Comics says, I'm really excited about the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Huge fan of Adam Warlock. A huge Adam Warlock fan. I'm happy to finally see him in the MCU. I'll take him any way I can get him. Well, I mean, look, if you're happy with any way you can get him, and I can't argue with you there. It's just not me. I want him cast well, and I think this is a terrible casting, but I hope you're pleased when they do it. I'll watch it, and I'll watch it. We'll see what happens, but I can't look at that guy and go, yeah, good casting, Warlock. I can't do it. He's terrible.
Well, let's see how close they hew him to the comics too. When you make,
I can already tell very little.
If they're going to make him, when they turn some characters into, all the jokes they've been telling lately in Marvel. What they did to Thor. As someone who read Thor since I was a kid, and then I was thrilled with Thor's arc, and then Ragnarok. As much as I liked it, it kind of opened up that comedy route, and then they just went overboard with it. They ruined too good of a thing, and then they went too far with it. So let's see what the story is. And I love Guardians 1 as one of my favorite all-time movies, and part of it too was I was just so surprised by how darn good it was. Like, how they can make a movie about these, the misfits of Marvel, quote unquote. Or unknown characters, I should say. Characters that really, unless you're a big time comic book fan, how are they going to make that a popular movie? And Gunn with the soundtrack, that that whole shtick with the Walkman and the tape and just the comedic aspect that wasn't overdone. Of course, it starts off with his mom tragically dying of cancer, and then he goes off into the galaxy and exploring, and that whole character arc was a great character arc and really well done. I know some people think maybe Star-Lord is a little bit too. I know one of your buddies always quote is too horny man child. Yeah. But I ended up loving that movie, and the second one is good. I like that too. And I think one of the best things we've gotten in a long time from Marvel was that holiday special, Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
That was pretty good.
Was fantastic.
Did you notice that picture about 3 back that Clobby showed? That's why a couple of people in the chat, I forget who brought it up. Was it Steve, or was it Matthew, or was it Sean? But somebody brought up Mads Mikkelsen. And I can see why. That's a person who actually reads comics, because as Clobby is thumbing through some of these, the Warlock character does look considerably older in some of the renderings.
He would be good, yeah. He's a great actor. He's playing Admiral Thrawn. Unfortunately, they're going to ruin. It's going to be a terrible show. But
is he still big, Mads Mikkelsen?
Not a big guy. Never. Really
but he's always in some of the. Was he in The Mandalorian, Acolyte. Or was he in? Or the Acolyte?
No, I mean Ashoka, or is it Acolyte? Oh, Ahsoka.
Is it one of the new?
I only see him. I've only watched him in period pieces, and I think
he's a great actor. Great actor. Yeah.
In period pieces, he's sensational. I swoon. Well, I think he's marvelous. But was that movie that he was in? That was Arn, wasn't it? The
what?
The Viking movie where he was at his biggest.
I don't know. It could have been, but he was in Rogue One, and he was in Doctor Strange is the bad guy in that. So and it was,
because there was a time when Mads Mikkelsen was a chunk. Right. Like he was bigger, and he was in good shape. And he was quite the swordsman, and did a lot of hand-to-hand combat. And I believe the movie was Arn. But I watch a lot of films like that. And it's a foreign film. I think it might have been in Finnish. But he was big back then. But he's certainly not a big guy, is he?
I guess
No,
not.
but
Big, tall, thin
he's
guy
a
or whatever.
he's a well-known character actor, I guess you'd say. That's
He's a good actor.
never
Yeah,
been a
great actor.
leading man, but someone who always does a great job in every movie that you see him in.
Thank
So,
you,
yeah,
Eric. Appreciate that, buddy. He said Alan Richardson for Adam Morlock. Well, I'm with you.
Yes. Yep, that fella looks the Alan
you, buddy.
Richardson. He definitely looks
I'm
like
for
a
that.
very realistic Adam Warlock, and has worked his whole life for that beautiful body of his. And I can't even imagine the discipline that's involved with it. And sometimes it's not even healthy to get to that. You know, they're just sitting around eating dark chocolate with no sugar or anything in it, just dark chocolate and sipping water and things like that. It's brutal to turn your body into like a full on. I don't know. You
said
can't use the word machine, but because we're all machines. But I just mean like,
Lisa, I don't know who Richard Branson is, do I? I don't know.
he's the billionaire Virginaire, and he's got his own space. He's kind of like an Elon Musk type.
But does Richard Branson act? She said. So
Well, yeah, because maybe she's thinking of casting him as as Warlock. Yeah, I'm guessing, but yeah, he kind of looks a little bit like that too. Maybe when he was younger.
See, Snail Messiah knows what I'm talking about here. He says Mads Mikkelsen did a Viking movie. It's not Arn. Who starred in Arn? Snail Messiah. But it came out at the same time as Arn, and I love all of Mads' period pieces, and I'm just a junkie for him. I love him.
He's in the new Indiana Jones movie too.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is in that. Yes, he is in
Dial
that.
of Destiny. Playing a Yahtzee.
Mads is best when he's not speaking English. Let him go and be romantic.
So he's gonna have a accent, if that helps.
I love that beautiful. Was it Norwegian? I think it might have been Norwegian. The story of the Norwegian princess, and I believe it was a docudrama based on very, very faithfully. I think it had quite a bit of fidelity to a particular princess, and I watched that film with him in it. It was so good. But I'm all about the period pieces. Sorry, everyone.
Well, here, real quick,
Lil Scotty. I don't know if I'm not familiar with Lil
Scotty.
Hello, Lil Scotty.
Hey,
welcome.
Here's Richard Branson.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. That's for Lisa.
Lord,
yeah,
but pull him up.
Well, he does look like he could be kind of a Warlock character there.
Yeah, he does look like Warlock. I'll give you that.
On the right,
in that younger picture there.
Younger,
yeah. Older now. Yeah.
It's
a fair cop. Well, before we get out of here tonight, we got one other little. Again, you hate to bring anything down, but anytime comics lose one of their greats, Clobbering Times definitely. We talked about it a little bit last night, but it's on the Clubhouse. We always do it. Comics lost a legend at the age of 102. The great Al Jaffe passed, and it's worth noting that this man was a genius cartoonist and humorist. Worked for Mad Magazine. Mm-hmm. If you bought Mad Magazine in the 70s or the 80s or even into the 90s, one of the things that was great is if the back cover, the fold in for the back cover.
Yeah.
Because basically it's hard to explain but you would you take the cover off and you would have to fold it in, and it formed another picture. How do you put it? Like,
yep.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. You familiar with those fold-in covers on Mad Magazine?
Yep, I am.
Al was extraordinary. What a great cartoonist this man was, and dude, I think he retired at the age of 99. Can you believe that? Unreal.
That's a wonderful life. That's a wonderful life. I'm so happy for him.
Yes, and so, we just thought we'd point it out because the man was just brilliant, and he did some just extraordinary. There were some great artists and cartoonists for Mad Magazine, and he was one of them. Him, Mort Drucker,
Well, may he rest in peace. Yeah. And everyone here, we all send our love and our thanks to his friends and family. Thank you for all of your work, Al.
Al Jaffe, Clobbering Times. Yeah, salute you.
Did he draw all the Star Trek parodies and
that's usually of course that was Mort Drucker did most of the movie parodies usually.
Okay.
There were some others, but There was Mort Drucker. There was guys like Don Martin. There was guys like there was just a lot of great artists for Mad.
I loved reading that. It was so much fun to read that, and whenever you can get a
I
copy,
love the
as a
movie
kid,
parodies.
too. Oh, it's just so cool when you got those, because it was sometimes it was tough to get as a young kid. Not that it was, something you shouldn't be reading, but it was just, so Joe has the new Mad magazine, let's go read it or whatever. You actually, hang out and read it, like read a magazine together with your buddies.
Right.
I don't know what would happen today. Do they still publish Mad, or is it still on paper?
I think they do in some form. I'm not really, to be honest. I don't know. I think it is still. I couldn't swear to it though. I don't know. Good question. Does anyone know?
I think Hungry Boy had posted something about like they did envelope sleeve at when the internet. I don't know how old this was, but I think it was Hungry Boy with Mad Magazine on Twitter, and like the envelope was when there's no more electricity, or the next the comet hits us or something, you'll still be able to read this Mad magazine because it'll be on paper. It was something paraphrasing something like that. It's not on digital.
I've watched. I don't think I've read a Mad magazine since I don't know, like maybe early 1980s. I would say. And that's when I stopped.
I love the movie parodies the most. Of course, I did love Spy versus Spy and the fold in. That was the thing is you couldn't resist the fold in at the back page by Al Jaffe. You always had to see what was going on there, and it was always hilarious. I was like, man, it was so clever.
Mm-hmm.
It was really great. So he did a lot of good stuff, and then Don Martin was great. So, well, we're gonna start wrapping it up, folks.
Well, I do have one thing to show.
If you
quick,
do, I'm sorry, I should have checked with you. I didn't know.
No, that's all good. Yeah, no, I got a gift from Sean Eastrup in the mail. Yep. Yeah.
I'm just saying, let me know you have something so I don't.
Oh yeah, no,
I've asked.
Yeah, no, I know. I thought I mentioned it before, but it's my bad. I'm giving myself shin kicks now, but this won't take long. But I got this package in the mail. Someone wanted to, send a thank you for. Just all the streams and stuff. So I'll just show what I got in the mail. So
go for it.
So I got some cool, amazing Star Trek models.
Uh-oh.
And so thank you, Sean. You didn't have to do that. That's totally crazy.
Above and beyond. But I just switched my mic to my headset mic. You can still hear me, or?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I had to switch.
Only one bad thing on all three of them. 4 things.
Yeah. Like the pop.
Well, he's gonna look what happened. This is City Alpha. This is City Alpha 5.
City Alpha 5. look what the Genesis wave did to Khan. They turned him into a punk.
Turned him into a Funko. Turned him into a Funko
Pop.
Yeah.
Sean,
poor guy.
Funko.
Very
Pop.
nice of you, Sean. Sean S. Tap.
It was super nice. Yeah.
Where do I know Sean from? Do I know Sean here? Or do you know
think
him?
he's been in the chat. I think he's been in the chat a bunch of times. So.
Okay. I don't
on the Clubhouse, yeah.
Not here. I don't think so. I think maybe so, but if you're out there, cool. All right,
So
we got the Grissom
and the
Bird of Prey.
The Bird of Prey, yep. So
right. Wow.
So you got all the cool model pieces and
man,
this is so cool. There's the Bird of Preys in green. So I got to put these together. They're snap models, but you can glue them. And actually, I found there's some lighting kits for these guys that you could actually do. That so I'm wondering, I might light the Enterprise refit, and they give you the decal so you can do the damage. So of course, the all-time greatest shit.
They got the damage thingy.
They got the damage if you want to do it with damage. Okay. Yep, and just to give you an idea how big it is, here's the saucer section.
Cool.
So I'm gonna probably paint this by hand. I'll paint it by hand because some of the models you can buy the Aztec stickers, but I'll just paint all these individual panels a different color, and I might do the lighting kit for that. There's people that actually do custom lighting kits that they sell on Fleabag. So I might do that lit up, and you put a battery in the base, and you can light them up. But this was just so nice of Sean to send. Unbelievable. And like he didn't send one, he sent three models. So you've got the Reliant, and this is 1000 scale.
Wow.
Good thing we know the
Nice.
prefix code. So here's the Reliant in 1,000 scale, so it'll match up, exactly with the, it's a little bit smaller than Enterprise. It's the way, way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But very, very cool. And then you can do
Cool
that battle damage too after we drop the Reliant shield.
Nice.
And then the last thing I got, last but not least, is so cool. Wall stickers.
Hey.
Look how cool those are.
D-Bud, we got some Tuska Iron Man going on. Some Ramita Spidey. Some Ramita Cap. Kirby Cap, sorry. Ramita Hulk, I bet. So, wow.
That's going on the wall. Maybe it'll go in my bedroom. Do you think the missus would mind if I put these on the walls?
I think she'd love that. I think you should put it right over the bed.
Right over the bed?
Boy.
Put them on the bedpost. Put them on like if you got like one of those if you got a flat wooden bedpost thingy, right above where you right sleep.
Above.
The Spider-Man right over her head, right there.
The most hysterical thing is I got to grab this off the wall. My kids did that. My kids did that, so I had this Spider-Man sticker on our wall above our bed for years until she's like, "Are you finally going to take that off?" My kids gave me this Spider-Man sticker and put it on. Charlie put it on the bed over the wall. So, of course, this is much better art. The classic.
Oh yeah, that's because
yeah, classic art. But yeah, that's
to know for me.
Raquel
has for you, Raquel.
This is how you could tell that you're a geek and that I'm a nerd. This is how you know where the thin line betwixt the nerd and the geek is. Merch.
Yep.
She's lying. She has stickers of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy right under her bedboard, like right,
right
above it. She's lying. I've seen. Get pictures and send them to
Reacher. I think I got to send Raquel some stickers of Reacher.
Rip. Send me some pictures of Rip.
And Reacher.
No, the Reacher guy is too. He's too built for me. But I do have to say, I think he's doing a wonderful job with that show. Like
he's a great character. I really like the guy. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, and he's a handsome fella, and there's no reason why the young girls wouldn't like him as much as they like the Henry Cavill guy. I think that guy's cute, but for me,
Superman,
I'd rather go square dancing with Rip.
It's a fair call.
Oh, Eric says I need to get another set of stickers for you in the Mrs. Bathroom mirror.
Oh my god,
that'd be awesome,
Eric.
Oh dear,
that'd be great.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been fun tonight, but I know number one is it's late for you. It's school night.
It is. It's school
I guess.
night.
So, what? Any final words? Go ahead and just tell us your closing words that you have for this evening.
Oh well, first thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody in the chat. Each and every single one of you is just amazing. I love these conversations. These conversations don't exist without you, without your unique perspectives, your ability to just be amazing conversationalists. Thank you so much for making this channel and this show as much fun as it is. We're nothing without you. So thank you so much. I also want to thank all the wrenches. I love you guys so much. You guys are the unsung heroes of YouTube. You guys work for the big guys, and yet for some reason you come here and hang out with us, even though we're just a little teeny tiny channel. And it's very flattering. It's a pretty cool feeling, knowing that you're there. And we just love you, and we really appreciate it. I want to thank Mark for just being an amazing, cool, funny, wonderful guy. We just love you. Everyone just loves you. You're a cutie patootie. Don't forget to follow.
She said that I did.
Don't forget to follow Mark on Twitter, and don't forget to follow him on YouTube. I also badgered the poor guy into getting a Patreon, and he could really use your support. And the thing is that it's not empty support, because he makes beautiful things, and he has a whole plan for sharing the beautiful things that he makes, like the Doomsday Machine, on his Patreon. So make sure that you do that, please, please, please. And do you like science fiction? Do you like episodic science fiction, classic science fiction? Not the stuff that admonishes you, where you walk away from it shaking your head or scratching your head, wondering what just happened to you, like you were hit by a truck. I mean, like some just nice episodic classic science fiction stories? Well, if you do, please hop on over to Amazon and look me up. My name is R.M. Briggs, and I publish classic science fiction short stories for your enjoyment and for your pleasure. And I could sure use your support. And last but certainly not least, I just want to thank Clobby, Captain, my captain, mon capitaine, one of my best friends in the whole world. I love you so much. Thank you for creating this space for all of us to come together to talk about all these things we love. You're charming, you're brilliant, you're wonderful to be around. We all love you very much. And you make the internet cool. We love you, baby. Thank you so much. Mwah. And that's it.
Well, I love you and thank you. And I don't know what to say other than thank you for those wonderful words. And our great chief engineer, Mark D.
Thank you so much, Raquel. Oh yeah, just always love being on here. It's just such a great time hanging out. I was just thinking, like, what a great time we had tonight. It was so much fun.
Goes by quick.
Goes by quick. I mean, I don't know how it goes by for the chat, but the chat was just so awesome tonight. So much fun.
Great chat.
The back and forth. Yeah, everyone's. I don't know how many. You can see in YouTube. You can see how many chats. When you go in YouTube Studio, it's amazing. All the comments that are flying by. So just so much fun and just much better than hanging out. And I mean, not so much more fun to hang out here than to waste your time watching some of the crap that's on TV. So hopefully provided some great entertainment. Just a great time being here. And I just put Raquel's Patreon up, so make sure if you can do it, go try to support over there, or you can actually just follow her on Patreon too. Just get some announcements, I guess. But if you can, definitely support Raquel there, and if you can, I always appreciate the support too. So
yes,
Sean sending all that stuff, that was crazy. Thank you, Sean. Much appreciated. And shout out to Brian Hepburn and Shooter, who are my first two Patreons. And I was actually painting some Doomsday machines today, getting into the Trek spirit again. So I was spray painting some stuff today. So and printing some more stuff. And I got a commission from Andy Derivative Jill to print the Al's little communicator / computer, 3D print that for her. So I'm gonna be doing that. And I just got the clear filament today to do that. I know Jill's not in the chat here tonight, but getting ready to print that. But it's what so much fun here tonight. And always look forward to hanging out with you guys. So make sure to support Raquel, buy her book, and join Clobberin Times channel as a membership if you can, which is a great way to support Mike for all he does and all the work and he puts into the channel, because that's why everyone keeps coming back, because it's so much fun to hang out with him and talk to him, and his opinions are very well respected. So, and your stuff, so that's why. So if you can do that, join the channel if you could do it for a few months, even if you can't do it the whole year. It's always great to give back a little bit. And I know he hates accepting anything, so that's why we got to say it. So he would never say.
He's the only person. I love you.
He's the only person, one of the very few people that would turn things down or not take things.
That's right.
But that's your personality and your nature. So you're being true to yourself. But
you can keep the lights on in this virtual comic book shop by doing exactly what Mark said. Please make sure that you hit the subscription there. Make sure that you hit the notification bell, and stick around. Clobby has a ton of great material, and it's always a great time.
Well, thank you both. Again, you two have been two of the greatest friends I've ever had in my life, and this whole YouTube experience. I mean, I may have kind of not gone as far as I have this far on YouTube without you two. You've made it. You make my day every time. You're two great friends, and without us getting together this a couple of times a week than we do, I don't know if I would really care about doing this show that much anymore. But and of course, YouTube make it click. And of course, I have a lot of other good friends on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, but YouTube make it worthwhile doing it. And then we come here, and then we got this fantastic chat. and they just add so much to it. You guys are just amazing. So,
and there we go. Look what Eric K just did.
Love you.
I had to tell.
Oh, thank you,
But,
Mike.
I
For
had
that's
to-
so nice.
What happened?
Eric K just gifted 5 Clobbering Times memberships.
see
I
it.
know you can't see
Oh.
it, so that's why I
Love you,
wanted
baby.
to.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, thank you, Eric. Appreciate that, man. Yet for some reason, even though super chats show up over here, that doesn't show up on this side. So no. Thanks, Eric.
They even
Appreciate
gave
it,
us they even gave us a super chat folder, but still
Yeah.
won't let us see.
It's weird because we have a super chat folder now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hopefully
this is
someday
pretty
they'll
cool.
get that.
It's useful. 6 said she really helped her out over at Tom's. So, well, it's brand new. Must have started because I didn't see it yesterday. So this is new. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. I cannot thank you enough. I want to thank the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. I love you, and you're the greatest. And I want to thank my great friend Mark D. The two of us together. Of course, he always helps me out because a lot of times I'm here just riding solo by myself, which I can do. Not very well, but I can do it. But he
Oh, you
always
do it
helps me
great.
when
You do
I
it
have
great.
somebody pop in. No, thank you. I appreciate it. But still, it's always cool to have somebody hanging with you. So
Yeah,
And here's
it's
the
more
thing.
fun. Yep.
people say, well, you could get a guest. Now, I want it to be where I can do shows by myself. At the same time, it's always great to have someone join you and hang out with you. Just
Mhm.
this is the way it is. And if I have a set guest, it's one thing. When I don't, I'll handle it by myself because I don't want to go out and ask somebody, hey, you got to come hang with me every night. Mark doesn't have to do that. Mark,
Because he won't.
As
You
a-
won't do that, right? You won't ask, right?
I don't like to
That's-
ask. I don't like to
that's
ask
your
you.
personality.
I bug you by saying,
Yeah.
say, dude, if you feel like hanging, come on. If not, no biggie. But Raquel, for example, has a lot of stuff to do at night and stuff. I'm not going to bug her every night. I don't bug you either. I do bug you a little bit. I got to admit, but
Well, if
I
I'm
don't
there,
bug
I'd love to
Claude.
come
I
in
don't
and-
bug other friends to come on. People think why you
Minimus.
just because I really don't like it usually when there's too many anyway on the panel anyway that much. But on this channel anyway, it was fine going on panels on other people's channel. But 3's perfect, and sometimes 4 is not so bad. But when it's just 2 of us, that's also the best dynamic. Or 2 to 3. Us, we're different. We're like a gang. So the 3 of us. That's why we came up with this idea for the show. So anyway, I want to thank you both for being fantastic. And chat, you are wonderful. I'm going to shout out our Riches after do a quick show note. Let's see. Tomorrow night, Warlock.
Yeah.
It is time for Jim Starlin's Warlock on Nick's comic shop show on our good buddy Nick Weiser's channel, 8:30 Central Standard Time.
Mhm.
Please join us for that.
32
If you're
flavors
fan
of Nick.
comics. 32 flavors of the Nick Weiser. And then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek. 4 more episodes. 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine reviewed. And then don't forget Sunday Night Geekery on Mark D's channel at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you,
I'll
yeah.
be over there. And, of course, Monday night, I'm proud to be a special guest. Well, I'm not special, but the show is on J-Man's great channel. My good buddy J-Man, we're going to start reviewing Legion of Superheroes from the beginning, and starting with Adventure Comics number 247 from 1958, the first appearance of the Legion. So I'm looking forward to that. And hey, well, just everybody, let's say let's mention our wrenches here. The great Eric K. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you and appreciate the great Chris Persia. The D. Bud Martin, who I'll be hanging out with soon, finally going to be doing a review show together. Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth. Avon lives long, lives Legion. And of course, that can apply here too. To these guys. J-Man forever. J-Man forever. Wrench Without Fear, Partner in Crime on Earth B. Hungry Boy, Artist Extreme. Thank you, buddy. Super Wrench Kal-El. Maddie's Daddy. Builder of Rich Melnier, and of course, the great Fanti Outsidey. And again, Apollonie's Minion. I don't know if you're still hearing us or not.
Yeah.
We love you. You've been just a beloved member of this chat and this group and this family here. And we love your puppy dog. We know you love your puppy dog. We know that you would never hurt anybody. You certainly never would hurt a little doggy. What happened to you, unfortunately, it's happened to me before. Mark said it happened to him before. It's happened to a lot of us. This can be just unavoidable sometimes. I know that's no consolation. We know how you're feeling right now. Just know that You're not alone in that, and our heart goes out to you, my dear.
Yeah, those are good words. And what the boss is saying is totally true. That happened to you. And I know that seems like an empty distinction, but it's a huge distinction because it was an accident that happened to you. It's not something exactly like Clobby said, you would never do that, honey. So, it's going to take you a few days to get over it. And so unpleasant. We just love you so much. And
Everyone put AP in the chat for Apollo's menu.
Yeah, if everybody could put an AP in the chat, that'd be great. And I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Find that very
AM.
upsetting.
I put
That
a P
just
by
hits me
accident.
right in my heart. And to happen to our
AM.
friend, it's
What?
awful.
Oh, and the
Pepperoni.
pepperoni.
AP works for pepperoni, yeah. So that's good. Yeah. AP is Apollo and pepperoni.
Yeah, Apollo and the
Thank you
pepperoni.
all. I started overthinking. Maybe it should be the end, but then the P's good.
No, AP is
Pepperoni.
good because Simi's with her tonight, and
Right.
that's good.
Love you,
because
Apollo.
terrible thing to happen.
We
We
love
love
her.
you, honey.
Yeah.
You hug
So,
Simi tight, and you tell that little pepperoni that we love her.
Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. We'll shout you all out Saturday night as well. Have a magnificent weekend, and hey, enjoy Clobber On, everybody.
No bloody A, B, C, or D. Hot milk.
Get those nerds! 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 It's clobbering time! I just love clobbering time!